All right.
Still nothing?
Nothing.
I see.
Quick reminder, Tiger fans, tomorrow night, the Tigers take the field once again for 6 p.m. first pitch with DeSales University.
It is Tuesday night in Texas, and it's March, which can only mean one thing: baseball time in San Antonio. The UT Dallas Comets are in town to face the number 14 Trinity Tigers. The rankings updated this afternoon. Tigers slipping a little bit, but coming off a sweep of Concordia, Wisconsin, and looking to keep the good vibes going today, Cole.
Yeah, Brian, their first sweep of the season. Talking to Coach Smith about it, he said that Game 3 of that series was one of his best wins as a coach, one of his favorite wins at least, as a coach, because the ability to shut down a team a third time and get a sweep is so rare, and it shows the depth that you have in your pitching staff. And that's why he says that there are not that many sweeps in college baseball, but the Tigers able to get one last weekend against Concordia, Wisconsin.
It improves their record to 8-4. As you see on the screen, the Comets coming in at 6-5. And these are two teams that are very familiar with each other. And hopefully you're familiar with these voices now. That was Cole Isaacson. I'm Brian Jenselson. And here is first pitch, a strike to Andrew Skivington, the second baseman and the leadoff hitter for UT Dallas. Second pitch fouled away, so Jack Schmidt gets ahead. And Jack Schmidt, the senior from St. Louis, Missouri, is making his first career start after 28 appearances out of the bullpen. First time starting a ball game. Misses high and outside, so 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's a great thing about these Tuesday games, guys. that you wouldn't normally see starting. You get to see them in that new role. We'll see how Jack Schmidt fares today.
Misses up there. Count evened up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And another one up high, so Skivington has battled back to take it full. The senior from Tomball, Texas, has become an everyday component in this Comet lineup. And he gets around on this one, sends it to right field. And no one's quite sure if it was fair or foul, but Skivington is gonna... Nope. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, we're not on the field, so tough to tell exactly what happened. Looks like he's going back to the batter's box.
Even the PA just announced a home run, but he is back in the box, so they're calling it a foul ball.
Saw that drama. And
Great way to start the ball game, and for Jack Schmidt, then pulls the string with the changeup. So instead of a home run, it's a strikeout for the senior.
yeah, that's a pretty big letdown, but a good start for Jack Schmidt. I guess what was almost a home run, apparently, and able to get the strikeout out of it. Get that first out of the inning quickly.
Up to bat now, Yeager Self. He's first pitch swinging. He's going to sky it out to shallow outfield. Charging in is Ezra Gore, and he'll make the catch. 2 hitters, 2 outs.
It's good communication defensively by the Tigers. We saw it in game 1 where Colt Harris and Ezra Gore ran into each other. Clearly addressing that issue, as 3 different Tigers probably had a shot at that ball. Ezra Gore able to take command and make the out.
First pitch outside to the first baseman, Robert Hines. And you're going to hear us say this a lot in this UT Dallas lineup, a transfer. Transfer looks at a breaking ball. Hines checking in from Tyler Junior College, where he hit .259 a year ago. And he has gotten off to a scorching start with the Comets. Fouls this one into the turf in front. So he falls behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. He is hitting .395 to start the season. A couple of home runs, 12 runs batted in. So definitely making some new friends in Richardson is Robert Hines. Has an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes, top of the first inning. First 2 Comets retired. Schmidt trying to make it 3, but this will be a line drive into the gap. Center fielder Peterson ranging over, trying to cut it to a single, but that'll be a double for Robert Hines.
First hit of the day for the Comets. That one streaking into the outfield. Peterson trying, as you said, to hold that to a single, but good speed by Robert Hines, able to sniff a double and go get it.
So not only does he have a .395 batting average before then, his slugging percentage over 600, and you can see why. Just a double and home run machine. First pitch breaking ball to Bivens, who now has an RBI opportunity. Dylan Bivens, the junior from Denton, Texas. You guessed it, transfer from Brookhaven College. So you get an early look at Jack Schmidt there, first career start. Tries to go outside, gets a foul ball the other way. See what Schmidt draws up on 0-2. It's a turf ball, and it's a swing and a miss. Lazera will take care of it, and does. That'll be it in the top of the first. Schmidt strands a double at second, and the Tigers will come up to bat with the game tied at 0. Welcome back to Tiger Network. Middle of the week game Tuesday night. And this Tiger lineup will try to put together another performance like the ones they've had the last 3 days. 7 runs in the past 3 games. 7-5, 7-1, and 7-2. Those were the wins over Concordia. So even though they still haven't reached double digits when it comes to runs, the offense waking up as the weather gets warmer. And they will be facing a familiar foe tonight on the mound, Apollo Casamatis, the starter for UT Dallas, the sophomore from Murphy, Texas. First pitch to Ty Preston, a strike.
Very familiar foe coming from the SCAC. Transfer from Schreiner, one of the many transfers on this Dallas roster.
Gets another strike in there to get ahead of Preston. Last year, he faced these Tigers when he was wearing the maroon and white of Schreiner. And he had a pretty good outing as he looks to put Preston away here. But he'll have to wait at least one more pitch. Went 5 2/3, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, did walk 5, but also struck out 3 up in Kerrville last year. And overall, it was a really good year for Casamatis. As Preston fouls this one the other way. Honorable mention in the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. But now he is a member of the American Southwest Conference, wearing green and orange. Tries to get a breaking ball past Preston. He puts it into play, but right to the center fielder.
Next up for Trinity, the right fielder, number 4, Ezra.
Yeah, just going to get under this one and pop it up to center. So a good start for Casamatis, but a tough challenge coming up in Ezra Gore as he's still got to go through this top of the Tigers lineup.
Gore chops that one foul.
Off his own leg, it looked like. That can't feel good. Saw Jack Peterson yesterday. Had a big bruise on his leg from ball he fouled into himself. So wonder if we'll see a similar thing from Ezra Gore.
Looper misses up high. 1 ball, 1 strike to the senior from McKinney, Texas. And another breaking ball sent past the third baseman who got a glove on it. Now the throw not in time. Bivens learning why it's a hot corner over there. Neely trying to bail him out, but instead Gore reaches first. We'll see if it's a hit or an error. See, it was rocketed to the third base line.
Yeah, Gore just going to get on top of this one, and Bivens just going to slow it down. So Neely couldn't make the throw in time. Nearly recovered and was able to get the out, but Ezra Gore will be the runner on first and the first base runner for the Tigers on the day.
Inside strike to Nick Lazera, the catcher. And not many have gotten off to a better start than the sophomore backstop. Saw the number briefly there on your screen. It is .368 for the batting average, and how about a pair of home runs? Another inside pitch. He's able to get a piece of it, but it's foul.
Nick Lazera starting his season off with a bang. 2 home runs in the opening weekend in that series against now number 2 ranked BSC. Had a 3-run home run in what I believe is still BSC's only loss.
Runner going. Ezra trying to take second, and the throw gets away, so that'll be a steal. 5 for 5 with stolen bases for Ezra Gore. Dugout wanting him to get to third as the ball got away, but he didn't see it quick enough.
Yeah, it looked like a changeup there, so that's going to afford Ezra Gore a few extra seconds to get over to second base. Does so as that throw gets away. Had 19 stolen bases last season. On his way for another high number this season.
Now could score on a base hit from Lazera, but a step off. Early in the season, Ezra Gore, when Birmingham Southern came to town, looked at some of their base runners and said, I think I could beat their number. Will Lantis comes to mind. He had 37 on the year Last year, his goal was 40 coming into this campaign, so Ezra Gore said, I'll match him. I'll go for 40, and now Lazera lines it into right. It gets down for a base hit. Gore saw it late, so he'll stay at third, and the throw to first gets Lazera turning the bag. That's why you cut it off in the infield. Since it was such a hard-hit liner, Gore had to read it, wait, and then right here, the first baseman was able to cut it off in time and get it to Skivington, covering the bag. And that's fundamental baseball right there, Cole.
Fundamental baseball. Saw a good angle there. Looked like he got him in time, barely. But took a wide turn, and great job by the Dallas defense, able to basically steal an out. And a totally different situation with Gore at third, eliminating the sac fly possibility by getting Lazera out.
Kai Tinker batting cleanup today. Will try to clean it up. Takes a couple of close pitches that are both strikes against him, so 0-2. Camp wants it outside again. Casamatas gets it there, but Tinker able to lay off. Expect to see a lot of arms for the Comets tonight. Coming off a couple of games on Saturday and Sunday. Now they're headed to Florida in a couple of days, so they're going to go through some pitchers. How long will Casamatas be in there? Has his delivery fouled back, so still ahead in the count on Tinker.
That's kind of the different philosophies on Tuesday games. A lot of different programs like to see different guys get in there. And we'll see how many get in there for the Comets tonight.
Going inside now, Tinker able to get to it and send it foul to stay alive.
Trying to find a way, get a base hit, bring Ezra Gore in. Be big to start this game off 1-0, as Tuesday games can get pretty chaotic when to get on top.
Tinker had a triple on Sunday afternoon. Part of a good weekend against Concordia, Wisconsin. Gets the bat on it here, chops it up the middle, and he'll get an RBI single. Perfectly placed ground ball will drive in the first run of the afternoon.
All about location. Not a well-hit ball on top of it, as that spikes into the turf quite a few times, but right between short and second base. I think it might have actually hopped over the bag. Right up the middle, able to get the RBI and extend this inning as well.
And you can see from the moment he got to it, Skivington not even worth a throw. Tigers up 1-0, and Brandon Nelson up at the plate. Nelson tonight playing first base. We've seen him as a designated hitter. Rolls this one to second base. Skivington gets the hop and makes the throw over to first for the third out of the inning. But an eventful one for the Tigers. 3 hits lead to 1 run. Comets playing some good defense to retire a runner, but Trinity does jump in front, 1-0. So we'll head to the top of the second with the maroon and white up. Jack Schmidt makes a second trip to the mound, this time with a lead. Mentioned at the very top, if you didn't join us right at the 5 p.m. hour, this is his first career start. Breaking ball in the turf, ball 1. Leadoff hitter Daniel Zamora. For Jack Schmidt, though, something that he has earned through hard work and perseverance, as Zamora sends it right back where it came from with a leadoff single. So the graduate student gets it going for the Comets. But Jack Schmidt, someone we've seen for a long time now on Tiger Network, so often in a relief role. Those 27 previous appearances in his career were all out of the bullpen. And trying to use this Tuesday night to make a good impression. But it'll hit the second batter of the inning, so 2 Comets will reach base. A single, and now a hit batsman, Luke Finn, takes the painful walk to first.
Yeah, breaking ball that did not break. That's going to go right into his shoulder. Sometimes it's pretty close as to whether it's going to hit them or not. You knew that was a no-doubter. But Jack Schmidt getting himself into a bit of a jam here. We'll see if he can get out of it. After that first inning was pretty clean.
Fastball. Umpire not giving him the benefit of the doubt. Lazaro is setting up outside. And Schmidt didn't get that part of the plate, so ahead in the count with 2 runners on. And there's a changeup for his strike on the catcher, Coleman Camp. Was working quickly in the first inning, now taking more time. Breaking ball lands top of the part. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's a big situation for Jack Schmidt. Out would really help here. You got 2 on and 1 in scoring position. Got to find a way to keep him there and keep this 1-0 lead.
Close pitch, able to lay off of it is the catcher. Who's continuing to take a look there at his third base coach, see if anything's on. Zamora reaching with a quick single, then the hit batter. Lazara stepping well inside. Schmidt keeps it over the plate, but a pop-up in the infield. Should be an infield fly rule, and it's caught by Cole Terrace.
Important to get the soft contact there. As you said, going to get it in the zone. Batter just under it, but a big out for Jack Schmidt. As Colt Harris able to range over and make that play.
So up comes the freshman. On a roster filled with experience, Garrett Neely breaking through the lineup today. Looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. From Liberty Hill, Texas, making his 4th career appearance. Although most of them have prevented him from having an at-bat. So only 1 at-bat, looking still for his first hit. Tucks out of the way of that one. A very new UT Dallas lineup. Schmidt gets the outside corner, strike 2. Tiger fans, of course, very familiar with the Comets. This was the opponent in the NCAA Regional. Tigers able to win 3 of 4 before heading to Birmingham and then heading to Iowa for the World Series. Neely lays off of that one, but asking Coach Shane Shoemake of UT Dallas, what do you think about coming to San Antonio, seeing the team that eliminated you? How's the team feeling? And he's like, to be completely honest, I don't even know if my guys know that Trinity beat us. That is how new this roster is. Just transfers and freshmen. Freshman here fouls it off to stay alive 2-2, but for the Comets, not coming in today with any sort of revenge in mind.
No, it's just too new of a lineup. Talked about all the transfers, pretty similar to Hardin Simmons in that way, with the amount of transfers that they have. But saying that it's just the gelling that it's going to take. Taking time to get these guys in sync with each other, that's been the biggest issue so far. But the talent's there, and they're not worried about that. Started 15-1 last season, 6-5 now. But really a lack of concern overall from the program.
It's a program that's really turned things around in the last few years. Looking for yet another ASC championship that used to be the rarest of things in Richardson. Now it's commonplace. And Neely continues his stellar at bat, though Lazera, a back pick to second, nearly gets the runner Zamora. Neely making Schmidt work with one out in the top of the second. Two runners still on base for UT Dallas and looking to even things up after the Tigers got ahead. Misses outside, ball 4, and the bases will be loaded for the Comets.
That was a really important at-bat. Able to stay alive multiple times, make Jack Schmidt work and work and work, and eventually work the walk to load the bases, as it sets the Comets up really well to tie this game.
Brayshawn Savage will be the one at the plate. Base is full of green and orange. First pitch breaking ball, freezes Nelson. Savage, excuse me. Now goes with a fastball. Able to lay off of it for the first ball. Speaking of the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference, Savage from Sherman, Texas, home of Austin College.
We'll see.
Changeup gets him swinging over the top, but it gets away from Lazera. The throw, not in time.
It's a good job by Schmidt, able to cover here, as Lazera just not able to reel in that ball. Schmidt able to run up really quickly, nearly get the out, but just not in time, and this will be a tie game.
Another one outside. Both runners able to advance behind the runner as well that scored. So a base hit could score 2. Change up, spit on by Savage, and it's a 3-2 count. Patient at bats by the Comets.
Yeah, a lot of patience, able to hang in there, really work Jack Schmidt. But keep in mind, not the worst thing to lose him here. You have the base open.
Won't lose him, though. Another changeup, another swing and a miss. That is his favorite pitch. And it's a beauty to get the strikeout and get the second out of the inning.
Really important to get the strikeout there. No possibility of a double play with nobody on first. So anything put into play, realistically, probably scores a run. Able to avoid that and get the strikeout. Put this thing to 2 outs.
Strike to start off the at-bat with Skivington, and although you said wouldn't be a harm to walk him, really don't want to load the bases for this leadoff hitter in Andrew Skivington. One of the more productive bats for UT Dallas. Now still a great opportunity, but with 2 outs instead of 1. Falls behind. So the changeup has been working for Schmidt. Does he go to it again? He does, and Skivington didn't miss it. A single up the middle, 1 run comes across, a second right behind him, and the Comets take a 3-1 lead.
And you see why they play Skivington at the top of the order, to bring those bottom guys in. As you said, it sits on that changeup, all over it. And both runners going to score easily. Give Dallas an important 3-1 lead.
Yeager Self up to bat for the second time today. Ball gets away from the first baseman Nelson, and Skivington will take a trot to second. 3 runs already across for the Comets, and now another in scoring position after this pickoff throw gets away.
Well, we know these Tigers pitchers, really all of them love to pick off. They like to fight for everything, keep every runner they can at first. Tough to take bases on them, but that's always the risk when you throw over to first, that it'll get away and they get the base anyways.
Curveball, a strike to Self. And there is another. So the curveball command there for the senior. The pitching coach Dave Smith has said has just worked so hard in this offseason in particular to really change things ahead of his senior year, knowing he has one last shot at it. And here it is. Can he get out of this second inning? Not with that pitch. Self able to take it.
That's a good idea there by Schmidt, though. Breaking ball in the zone twice in a row. Give it to him a third time out of the zone, more likely to try and swing at it.
Lazera tries to frame that one back in the zone. Umpire not falling for it. Self able to get right back into the count. Two balls, 2 strikes. Lazera going in on Self. Schmidt, another changeup, another line drive, but this one foul.
Important that Schmidt finds a way to get out of this. Have the runner at second you need to worry about. Keep this deficit to 2. As this offense, 7 runs in 3 straight games. We know they can do stuff. You just have to give them that opportunity.
Yanks that one outside. So like we've already said several times today, after the Comet hitter falls behind, able to bring it back to a full count, really making Schmidt work on one of the first nights of the year that's truly muggy in San Antonio. So the sweat definitely stacking up for Schmidt. The 3-2 breaking ball misses high, ball 4. And the inning just continues for UT Dallas.
Able to work counts really well. You see the patience all throughout this lineup as Jack Schmidt continuing to work through every at-bat. Nothing easy for him, and you're seeing the effects of it as they're not quite done yet, even though there's 2 outs.
And one of the aspects that comes with never having started a game like Schmidt has never done is that you're not quite used to the full length of a game like this. Last year, he only completed a full inning twice. He had a 12.6 ERA in 5 innings, but those were across 8 games. So this is definitely a new experience at large for the senior. Now has the 3-hole hitter for the Comets who takes the first ball. And he can do some damage, so watch out here. Already 3 runs across for UT Dallas. They're up by 2 over Trinity. And Robert Hines looking to do some more. Takes it the other way, and it'll get down. Gore trying to make the throw in, but it will not be in time. Cut off, in fact. Skivington across for the 4th run of the inning.
But only the 4th run. Thought there was an opportunity for another score here. Able to hold them at first and second. That pretty critical. So while it is 4-1, 3-run deficit, not out of this world that the Tigers get back in the game, as we're going to see a mound visit.
And more than a visit, a change. Jack Schmidt gives up 4 runs in this second inning, and the Comets will send him packing with a 4-1 lead. We'll take a break on Tiger Network and be back after this.
switching change for Trinity. Now on the mound for the Tigers. Senior right-hander from San Antonio, number 39, Michael Bokey.
Early call to the bullpen for the Tigers, and it's a man we just saw on Sunday afternoon, Cole.
Yep, Michael Bokey pitched 1.2 innings, no hits allowed, no runs allowed, 1 walk, but 3 strikeouts, as he was able to get the save in that impressive win on Sunday to wrap up the sweep for Trinity.
He has the cleanup hitter to deal with immediately, Dylan Bivens, but a pickoff to second will delay that start. Self able to get in there safely. For Bokey, though, it really continues what's been a fantastic start to his senior season. After 3 innings the first 3 years of his campaign, already 4 1/3, no runs allowed. His breaking stuff has been more than impressive, and he starts with the breaking ball there. But Bivens not falling for it, as none of these Comet hitters have really come to the plate very aggressive. They have taken their time, and you can see the impact. Schmidt out the game after just 1 2/3.
Not only that, though, 1 2/3, but having to throw nearly 50 pitches just in that time just shows how much they're making Schmidt work. And we'll see if that translates to Bokey or not.
3 straight breaking balls from Bokey, 2 of them strikes to get ahead. Got that save on Sunday afternoon. Very different situation now, but in many ways could save the game for Trinity to keep it right at 3. This one gets away from Lazera, so 2 more runners in scoring position. This turf acting up early, giving the catcher some problems. Saw that big bouncer in right field that got Lazera picked off at first. So something everyone has had to learn. And now Bivens with a base hit could drive in 2. Pokes it to the first baseman, Nelson. Bokey has to cover, and he does. 3rd out of the inning, retired. But the Dallas Comets do some damage. 4 runs, and they were some hard hit balls. 4 hits to go along with them. And they take a 4-1 lead headed to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Tiger offense looking to make up the work.
Leading off for the Tigers, second baseman, number 2, Colt Harris.
Colt Harris takes the first pitch ball to start this inning. Tigers suddenly with a 3-run deficit. And Casamatas a whole lot happier to go out there with a 3-run lead. Zooms a fastball in there for a strike. Casamatas gave up that run in the first inning. Able to keep it at just that and let his offense do the work in the top half of this inning. And he is someone who is definitely used to going deep into games, so if he can perform for Coach Shoemake, could become a staple in this rotation after being a Shriner staple. Falls behind 2-1 on Harris.
That goes back to what's great about Tuesday games. Seeing guys get their opportunities where they previously haven't had them.
Colt Harris has gotten plenty of opportunities and continues to make do with them. A leadoff single for the second baseman, and the Tigers looking to bite right back.
Second ball today that's been hit right up the middle. This one nearly touches second base. This Colt Harris, a good start to the inning, and that's when you have a 3-run deficit, it can be easy to try and get it all back in one swing, but you can't do that. You have to get on base and build something, and we'll see if Michael Montreza can continue that.
Breaking ball in the turf. Camp able to get in front of it to keep Harris at first. Still just 12 games in, so the sample sizes aren't huge. But they're starting to matter more and more. So Montreza hitting .297. Those are 11 hits in 37 at-bats. Everyday shortstop for the Tigers. He's been at the top of the lineup, middle of the lineup, today towards the bottom. Shows bunt, runner going, Harris. Well out. Just waiting for the signal, but he was cut out to dry.
Yeah, that ball there in plenty of time. Harris trying to dodge it. A great look. Great camera angle there. But no chance for Colt Harris to reach. And just like that, the bases are empty for Trinity.
And it's something that has been such a weapon for the Tigers early this year. Before that, 25 of 29 stolen base attempts successful. And now Montreza grounds it to short. Easy out there for the Comets. So after a leadoff hit, suddenly 2 outs, nobody on.
Well, based on that, not the worst thing in the world that Colt Harris got caught stealing, because that would have been an easy double play. Hit right to second base, where the shortstop probably could have just stepped on the bag and made the throw in time. But either way, a tough break. Having somebody on, trying to build something, and all of a sudden 2 outs for Holloway. Nobody on.
Tigers have 4 hits just like the Comets, but the Comets have 4 runs to show for it. Holloway going the other way. And just like he did on Sunday, really testing that first base foul line.
Yeah, had 3 hit over there finally. Third time was the charm. Had it on the right side of the line. It was a big hit in that game. Weekend before that, though, Holloway 2 home runs.
Fouls it off again. Yet another Tiger piece that you never know where exactly he'll be. But one way or another, he'll be there. Waits back just enough on a breaking ball to stay alive. 1-2, still the count.
Holloway's worked a lot at third base this season, but lately been in it. Designated hitter, which is where he is today. As it'll be Kai Tinker over at third.
Holloway able to wait back on that one in the turf. Just his batting gloves as tries to make a little 2-out rally get going. Off of Casamatas, the former Mountaineer. Another one the other way, another one foul. Camp moving inside. Casamatas meets him there. Strike 3 swinging. And the Comet dugout making plenty of noise early. A 4-1 UT Dallas lead headed to the top of the third.
The Tigers pick up a hit, bottom of the second. UTD leads 4-1.
Daniel Zamora to get things going for UT Dallas, trying to build on a 4-1 advantage. Michael Boki still on the mound after entering from the bullpen. His slider of ball. UT Dallas coming into today 6-5. Still very early on in the season for them as well. And this slider gets a swing and a miss from Zamora. Most recently coming off a loss against McMurray. 9-7 the score after the Comets swept a doubleheader against the Warhawks. Little bouncer will stay foul. It's really been a rumble through the SCAC, though, for UT Dallas, even though they've already gotten well into conference play since they have so many opponents to get through. They have played Texas Lutheran, Southwestern, and St. Thomas already. Now add Trinity to the docket. That's half of the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. Ready, utilizing the state and trying to play tough opponents early.
Yeah, a lot of tough opponents. Coach Shoemake saying that this is one of the toughest schedules they've played, but a really good schedule to prepare for their really brutal conference.
Can't get the bat off his shoulders there, can Zamora. Perfectly located slider gets strike 3.
Southwestern from the ASC, a really tough conference to get out of. It took them so long to do it, but now 3 of the last 4 seasons.
Outside corner strike to Boki on Luke Finn, who's happy to get at least one pitch that doesn't hit him right in the back. Now waves at that slider. Although Finn would certainly like other ways to reach base, he will take a run. And he was one of 4 Comets to come across in the top of the second. Now able to sit back on the breaker, but just a slow roller to Boki, who takes care of it himself. 2 outs quickly in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, Michael Boki settling things down a little bit. Dallas able to get 4 runs in that previous inning. Already down to 2 outs, is just trying to hold this deficit and see what the offense can do when they get their next crack at it.
Initial delivery to Coleman Camp, up and in. One of a few that are not only just transfers, but transfer from Brookhaven College. Takes a strike there. Camp hit .347 a year ago, had 6 doubles, a home run, and 18 runs batted in. Looks at a slider for his strike, but bringing some veteran leadership behind the dish and at the plate. And that's really what these transfers have brought UT Dallas. As the 1-2 on its way, this time no swing. Asking Coach Shoemake why get so many transfers. And he says, well, you know what you're going to get. You've seen them play collegiate baseball already. There's nothing new about them. And he likes having that on his team. This time, though, nothing the transfer can do about that one. Strike 3 called. Boki, 1-2-3 inning. Helps settle things down for the Tiger pitching staff and gives the offense another chance to work. UT Dallas 4, Trinity 1.
the Tigers, center fielder number 24, Jack Peterson.
Jack Peterson has the task of getting things going for the Tiger offense. Still just the bottom of the third, but the Tigers down 3. Takes the first pitch ball. Casamatas still in the game for the Comets. Another ball taken by Peterson, the junior from Round Rock, who has had a stellar start to the year. Got a brief look at those numbers. But even beyond the major categories you look at, the base paths are where he is dominating right now. A big part of the Trinity effort, we mentioned the total team steal attack, but Peterson has been #1 in that category, 7 out of 7. So when he gets on, he's not over there at first for very long. Here, though, Casamata is trying to keep him off of first. The center fielder charging, making the call and making the catch. Self had 3 other options there, but the captain of the outfield takes care of it for out number 1.
Yep, able to charge in and call his ball. As that time, right in the square. Normally you call it the Bermuda Triangle, but that time 4 Dallas Comets had a shot to catch that ball. And that's the outfielder's job, to come in and call it, so that there's no communication errors or collisions.
Back to the top of the lineup now in Ty Preston. Breaking ball, a strike. Draws a little shaking of the head from Preston. Another junior. He's from the Houston area, Pearland. And this one comes from the inside out. Beautiful delivery by Casamatas to get ahead 0-2. Looks like some great two-seam action on his fastball. Catcher wants it in the turf, gets it there. Preston not going to swing.
Yeah, good job laying off of that one. Ball in the dirt, 2 strikes. Perfect time to throw that pitch, but Ty Preston, great patience at the plate to stay alive.
Now higher and perfectly placed inside strike. Casamatas dealing right now. Even though he didn't get the breaking ball for a strikeout, he got it exactly where he wanted it. And then when the catcher wanted it up and in, the pitcher got it up and in. So what that tells you is he is moving it where he wants it.
Yeah, putting it exactly where he wants it. Also able to put it all in and around the zone.
First pitch ground ball to second, as Rigor is fast, but not fast enough to beat that one. A 1-2-3 inning for Apollo Casamatas, and the Comets will keep this 4-1 lead headed to the top of the 4th.
Clean sheet for Casamatas in the 3rd. Leading off in the count, shortstop number 2, Garrett Neely.
Garrett Neely up to bat for the 2nd time. First time around, he drew a walk, as he seemingly spent forever at the plate, just fouling pitch after pitch after pitch, eventually taking ball 4. Here, able to check his swing. but it's really been an early story for a Comet offense, not just today, but on the year. This time, the home plate umpire says, yes, you went around. Although Coach Shoemake has said the hitting isn't quite where they want it to be, the patience has. They have drawn 51 walks coming into tonight. That is third most in the conference, but nationwide, 39th. There's a lot of teams that play Division III baseball, so clearly they are patient, and it is working off tonight. Though a swing and a miss on that fastball. Boki trying to keep his scoreless streak alive. The 2-2 from him, fouled the other way, so Neely right back at it with his foul balls.
Yep, able to stay alive, and you talk about the patience. You've seen that throughout UT Dallas's offense tonight. Continue to stay alive and work at bats.
Nearly leans his elbow into it instead of full count on the way to Neely. So 2 plate appearances, 2 full counts on the freshman. And I think we're seeing why he is in the lineup at such an early stage in his career. 2 walks drawn by the Liberty Hill native and a leadoff runner for the Comets in the 4th.
Yeah, you continue to see that patience, but to just put that in perspective, 47 pitches for Jack Schmidt in the 1.2 innings that he went. Casamata's only 40 as he's gone through 3. So it just shows how much that these Comets are making the pitcher work.
Check on the runner Neely. Savage struck out his first time up. See Neely's lead not going anywhere. Slider misses outside. At the time, Cole, you said could have loaded the bases before the Savage strikeout. But he did in fact strike out. Looked like the Tigers could get out of it, but the top of the order had something to say about it. And they will no matter what this time around as well. And Savage gets ahead, 2 balls, no strikes. Don't want to put 2 Comets on if you're the Tigers. Ahead of Skivington, Self, and Hines due up after.
That kind of goes back to the Birmingham Southern series. Coach Weisberg talked about the importance of getting 7, 8, 9 guys on and having 1, 2, 3 drive them in. And so far setting up well for Dallas to do exactly that.
That last breaking ball was close, but the umpire again making the pitchers earn their spots and making them actually hit the locations they're intending to where the catcher is setting up. We saw him reward the Comet starter in the last inning. Even though it was a close call, it was right where the catcher's glove was to start the pitch. And so affecting that umpire's eyesight, it's definitely a way to go if you're a pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just tell in complete command that ball ending up right where the glove was. Great sign for a pitcher, but Michael Buki trying to figure out a way to get out of this jam. Down 3-0. Walk a batter, put him in the scoring position. You don't want this to get ugly. You want to give your team a chance.
3-0 is a strike on the outside part. Lazera gives a little fist bump to Boki from afar, saying, do that again. Some might say, well, a strike is a strike. But there is no doubt the umpire is affected by where it was initially intended to go. Boki gets it outside of where it was intended this time. So another walk, 2 to start this frame. And the Comets have runners on first and second. Nobody out. Skivington coming to bat.
Great movement on that pitch from Michael Boki, trying to get a swing and miss, but they're just not biting as the patience continues to show from Texas Dallas.
And it looks like we're going to get another visit to the mound. Dave Smith on his way to talk to Boki. We'll find out right now if it's a change. No arm extended yet, so he'll take an actual chat with his bullpen reliever this time.
Yeah, just evaluating the situation. Nobody out. Got to find a way to hold these runners from going in as Dallas has a chance to really blow this game open. And think about Trinity, how they started this game, getting up the 1-0 lead. But Dallas, a quick 4 and a great response from them. And a threat to put more on the board here.
And after a conversation, the arm does go up for Dave Smith. So Michael Bokey's day is done out of the bullpen, and the third Tiger pitcher of the afternoon will come on in. We'll take a quick break. UT Dallas 4, Trinity 1 in the top of the fourth.
Pitching change for Trinity. Now on the mound for the Tigers, a junior right-hander from Pearland, Texas, number 14, Jonathan Newman.
Back-to-back walks drawn by the Comets. And Cole, just like Bokey, not having to learn many new names after Sunday afternoon. We're seeing a lot of the same guys.
Yeah, Jonathan Newman pitched 1 inning in the 7-2 victory against Concordia on Sunday. Gave up 1 hit and a walk, but no earned runs, as well as 2 strikeouts. Number 14 also does have a save on the season as he tries to save the Tigers from getting into some hot water here.
First pitch swinging is Skivington, who drove in 2 with a single his last time at the plate. Hitting .372 this year, and last year he hit .326 on the way to an honorable mention in the conference. Takes one low here to even it up at 1. The throw to no one. Lazera was trying to catch the runner napping, but instead he caught his infielders not looking for the ball. And the runner's on second and third now with nobody out.
Yeah, these are just the type of mistakes that we've seen today. As trying to pick him off, just not set up in the infield to make that happen. And both the runners going to advance, so an even more difficult situation for Jonathan Newman. Still nobody out, but third and second to worry about.
Great delivery there on the inside part of the plate. As Skivington, among a lineup of very new faces, one of the veteran ones, even though he too once upon a time was a transfer over from Northeast Texas Community College. Gets underneath one, pokes it into center, and the dive of Harris won't get there. Runners had to hold up. Neely will come around to score though, and look at Skivington taking advantage of the throw home. Will take second base, so runners on second and third, even though 1 run came across to score, a couple more right on tap for the Comets.
Yeah, difficult situation for Jonathan Newman. As this one, a lightly hit ball, just going to find a gap. The runners have to hold up. Only 1's going to score, but as you said, great awareness, able to take second base and still have 2 runners in scoring position.
Newman hits the outside part, but some juxtaposition early for any English majors watching. When the Tigers got a base hit into the outfield that didn't score a runner from second, the Comets cut it off in the infield and then got Lazera out at first. Well, this time the Tigers on defense don't cut it off, and it costs them a base. Will it cost them a run? We will only find out as it progresses. But it's the little things right now being done by the Comets that see them with a 5-1 advantage in the fourth and 2 runners in scoring position. Yeager self looks at a inside strike. Lazera looking to go right back inside. Newman obeys. And lucky there, as the ball got away from Lazera, but the runner Savage couldn't make it home. Too close for comfort. And that was a weird little flip there. Lazera had it in his glove initially, and then when he just moved his glove down, it got away from him.
Yeah, it didn't have it secured all the way, so when he flipped it back, it got away.
And getting away from the Tigers right now is this game. 2 runs come around to score on the RBI single for Yeager Self. A 7-1 advantage for the Dallas Comets.
Able to cash in. We're given an opportunity with 2 in scoring position. Hit it right up the middle. Drive in both of those runs and blow this thing open. 7-1 Dallas, as they look good today.
Two for 2 already. Can Robert Hines keep the perfect day going? Waits on a turf ball for ball 1. And while they're 2 different teams, both teams missing key pieces from a year ago, no surprise whatsoever to see runs on the board when the Comets face the Tigers. Let's take a look at some of the final scores from a year ago, shall we? 7-4 in Game 1, a Trinity victory. That seems pretty normal. But just wait till you hear some of the other run totals as another one in the turf gets away from Newman. How about 18-13, Trinity winning Game 2? They won Game 4, 21-13. That's what Tiger fans want to remember, right? They won 3 out of 4. They advanced. Everybody just kind of wants to throw Game 3 in the bucket because it was a 32-9 loss. You heard that one right, 32-9. And a change made during the at-bat by Coach Scannell, which is something he never does. Talked to us earlier this year about how he never makes pitching changes. But it is not what this Tiger pitching staff was hoping for today so far.
No, absolutely not. Had an ERA below 3. You talk about the improvements that they've made. We're 220th in the nation in ERA, in team ERA last season with a 6.29. That was down to 2.7 as they were, I believe, 32nd in the nation. That's going to take a hit today, as it looks like the new pitcher is going to be Jack Breezy in for Trinity. So you talk about those scores, some football scores out there, not really baseball scores, especially that 21-13. As you said, no surprise, when these 2 teams get together, runs will be put up on the board. UT Dallas with a touchdown up right now.
Yeah, and Dave Smith saying that even though the team won at large, his pitching staff, obviously giving up all those runs, made him quite disappointed in himself as a pitching coach, just being extremely honest, because of those totals. 32 runs, I mean, that is what nightmares are made of when you're a pitching staff and a pitching coach. And so seeing UT Dallas on the other side, bringing back some not so good memories, and right now with 7 runs in just 3 innings, only in the 4th inning with nobody out. So far, a repetition of some of those high-scoring affairs up in Richardson.
Yeah, absolutely. Tigers actually outscored in that series, 62-55, despite winning that series 3-1. So in 4 games, both teams putting up 50 runs. Trinity just hoping their runs come in this game.
Still plenty of time, of course, and it'll be, for the first time today, someone new. We've talked about Newman and Boki both pitching on Sunday. Well, someone who has not pitched not only this past weekend, but ever in a Trinity uniform is Jack Breezy, the sophomore from Danville, Kentucky. The long-awaited return from Tommy John surgery made him miss the entirety of the 2022 campaign, and you can see a smile on his face. Can only imagine how long he has waited to finally pitch in San Antonio.
Tuesday night, Brian, getting to see guys get an opportunity. Jack Breezy getting his first today.
It'll be a tough welcome as the 2-0 count. So the first pitch from Breezy, a base hit into left field. Not really the most welcoming situation when you've got the 3-hole hitter Hines already up in the count 2-0. So really not much Breezy can do about that one.
No, not really. Not often you see a guy pulled mid at bat. I believe we saw it last weekend. But tough situation Breezy was put in. Gives up the single. But trying to get a complete inning out of this. Still no outs here in the top of the 4th.
There's a first pitch strike to Bivens. And when at his best, Breezy will be pitching quickly. Although Bivens, you see, taking his time looking at the coach, not letting Breezy get into a roll early on in his outing. Ground ball, left side. 5, 4, 3, double play. Tinker to Harris to Nelson. And Breezy really couldn't ask for much more. After the base hit, he gets 2 outs on 1 pitch.
No outs for the longest time for Trinity. 2 in 1 play. Able to turn the double play. Runner moves over to third, but the Tigers will take that trade, just trying to find a way to get out of this inning.
Fan and a miss from Zamora, who still has that runner over there at third, but a whole lot closer to getting out of it for the Tigers. Ground ball to third, testing Tinker again, and he aces the test. So Kai Tinker defensively helps out Breezy, who has a big old smile on his face. A moment, a year and a half in the making after Tommy John, and he takes care of business. So Coach Scano, Coach Smith making a couple of pitching moves. The right one leads to Breezy, but UT Dallas up 7-1, headed to the bottom of the 4th. Heart of the order on the way for the Tigers, but Apollo Casamatis, every time he steps into the dugout, sees his advantage grow. 7-1 now for the Comets. Able to loop in a breaking ball. And if you're Coach Shoemake and the Comets, that's what you want to see from him now with a 6-run advantage. Just throw some strikes and make the Tigers earn it. Lazera, a base hit in his first at-bat. Fouls it back to the bricks. But it was a short trip on the base pass because right after the base hit, his wide turn of first got him caught looking, and he was right back to the dugout.
It's one of the big moments in this game. You talk about Dallas doing these little things well. That's why they're up by so much in this game. Trinity, just these small errors that look kind of insignificant, but giving Dallas free base runners, free outs here and there. And I think that's a huge reason why they're up 7-1 right now.
0-2, just a little piece of it for Lazera. That's all he needs to keep this at-bat going. Camp wants it in the turf. Not quite there, so Lazera able to foul it the other way.
Maybe flipping the script a little bit. We saw UT Dallas foul off a lot of pitches, staying alive in their at-bats. See if Trinity can do the same and see if Nick Lazera can get on.
Going right back to the turf. Camp wanted it a little bit lower. So Casamatis falls to 1-2, still ahead. During this midweek game, a lot of parents may not be able to come for just a single weekday game. And so what that means is Frank is not in the building. And right now, a ground ball to shortstop keeps Lazera off the base pass, so the power not there for the catcher this time around.
Frank not in the building, as you said. One of the first times all year, maybe the first time all year, that we don't have the presence of the magic French Bulldog. And I think Trinity missing him a little bit tonight.
Tigers trying to create their own little magic here. Kai Tinker, the senior, takes a first pitch strike. The at-bats continuing to pile up for number 33. Another slow breaker. Tinker just wanted to check with the umpire. Maybe thought it was a little bit high, but the umpire says 0-2. Casamadas looking to put him away, won't with that pitch outside. But for Tinker, after 8 career at-bats in the previous 3 years, he has 15 this season already. Line drive foul, keeps him in the box. It's really a story that we've seen across the board for so many Tigers. Whether it's Bokey, Tinker, Cedric Bowman getting his first career hit, Hunter Neville's getting his first career hit. So many of these seniors have waited their turn, kept the work at it, and they're getting their opportunities now. Tinker can't get a piece of it. He'll hustle down the line, and he'll be rewarded. That's why you run, run, run. The strike 3 on the swing and a miss, but Tinker will reach first as Camp couldn't hold on to it.
Sees the ball in the dirt, gonna hustle immediately. Throw's gonna be offline. Tinker able to reach. And you said it, Brian, that's why you run. That's why you put in a good 90. Trying to steal an out. Dallas had been stealing all of the outs in this game previously, stealing extra base runners. Trinity's turn now.
Casamadas responds with a first pitch strike to Nelson. Little bit of an opening provided by the Comets. Can the Tigers take advantage? Tinker taking a healthy lead off of first, and he faked the go. That's why the throw is over to second, but Tinker back to first. So some mind games being played.
Dallas got bamboozled there.
Bamboozled. That's a word. Pick off to check on Tinker. He's in there safely.
You said it, Brian. Mind games. Fakes the run. Now gets the pickoff attempt. Very aware of Kai Tinker at first base.
As he should be. Tinker, very successful early this year. Another feint at it, and another return. And with the ball to Nelson, maybe getting into the mind of the starting pitcher just a little bit. Kai Tinker continues to take that lead, now stepping a little closer to the bag. The pitch, chopped to the pitcher. It'll be a tough play, but he makes it. Casamata is pouncing off of the mound, retiring the second Tiger. Tinker does move over to second, but there's 2 outs in the inning.
Good defensive play by Casamatas. Able to read this, realizes he's the one who's going to need to go get this. Makes the throw plenty of time. But Brandon Nelson ends up doing his job, moving over Kai Tinker as the Tiger is going to try and get one back here.
Cole Terrace singled in his first at-bat, then was caught stealing, trying to take second. Swings over this first pitch breaking ball.
At the plate for Trinity, number 2, Cole Harris.
Another big swing by Harris, and another miss. So Casamata is trying to roll through this Tiger order again, work around that third strike that could have been, by now, the third out. Harris will try to make him pay, but he's behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Camp setting up outside, right to the glove, but just enough away from the zone to keep Harris at bat.
And it's kind of a 2-step process. Kai Tinker able to get on base after striking out. As that is an out, Trinity got back. Now making them pay for it. Dallas certainly has. Trinity needs to take step 2.
Harris sends it the other way. It'll send the outfielders chasing, and they're not going to get it. Bounces over the wall for an RBI double. Colt Harris splits Finn and Self out there and puts the second run of the board for the Tigers.
First RBI double we've seen at the back wall this season. Expected a lot more of those with this new turf, but able to hit this one just really far as it finds that gap and brings in the second Tiger run of the day.
Next up for Trinity, shortstop number 5, Michael Montreza.
UT Dallas advantage now 7-2 over the Tigers. Bottom of the fourth, 2 away. Montreza takes ball 1. And that would have been, what, 2 points in the home run derby yesterday, Cole?
1 point, Brian.
1 point. Tigers going with the home run derby. In a very laid-back casual practice last night. Ended it with a bang. And they were rewarding balls over the wall like that. Off a bounce, so not just the typical home run. And Colt Harris was one of very few Tigers who actually did hit a home run in the home run derby.
Did hit a home run. Austin Davidson, home run derby MVP, able to get 2 over the fence opposite field for the left fielder slash catcher slash first baseman.
Changeup gets Montreza swinging. 2-1 count for Casamares. Montreza was one of the closest ones that didn't get. Basically hit that 365 mark over there in left center. Kept everyone on the edge of their seat. Can he come through in game time? Gets one to the third baseman, who struggles to collect it, but then recovers and makes the throw. So Bivens has had a busy day over there at third, and he gets the third out of this inning. 1 run does score for the Tigers, but UT Dallas still on top, 7-2.
The Tigers had a run bottom of the 4th. UT Dallas leads 7-2.
We're back for the top of the 5th in San Antonio. UT Dallas 7, Trinity 2. Jack Breezy on the mound after getting 3 outs out of the bullpen. We'll get another inning to work with. His father, the coach of the Center Colonels over there in the Southern Athletic Association. Although they are playing at this very moment as well, so Coach Breezy not getting to see his son make his collegiate debut. But I'm sure he'll check the box score, maybe watch Tiger Network on delay, and be delighted at that first inning that Breezy threw.
Jack Breezy able to get the Tigers out of a really dreadful inning overall. Seemed to take forever, couldn't get out of it. Came into the inning with no outs, no help at all. And ultimately able to get a double play and then a ground ball, get out of it pretty quickly.
He came into Trinity as both a hitter and a pitcher. Working just about equally in both, but this season has focused more on the mound. Tries to get it in on Finn, but Finn gets the bat around it and gets a single into left. So that'll be the start of the inning for the Comets, a leadoff single. And up to bat will be the catcher, Camp. That was an instance of Breezy meeting the glove, but the bat just there too quickly.
Pat on top of a really hard hit ball, just going to slide right past Kai Tinker, who dives, and I thought he nearly was going to get on top of that. Just too far away. So another base runner for the Dallas Comets.
And there's not only been the change at pitcher, with Breezy. There appears to have been a change behind the plate as well as Breezy checks on the runner there. From our view, it looks like Matt McNaney now the catcher. Coming in for Lazera. Not the first time we've seen McNaney come in. We'll see if he's tested with that runner over there at first. Not going anywhere. The bunt, McNaney hyper aware of it in case, but no one going anywhere yet.
McNaney saw game 1 action after Lazera made the start, subbed in about halfway through, pretty similar to right now. As McNaney will be the Tigers catcher for the rest of the day.
Change up a good one there for Breezy, but Camp not fooled. Finn over there does have 2 stolen bases. Takes a hop off, but stays while the ball delivered to Kemp. In the turf, won't matter anyway. Ball 4. Finn was headed towards second, and he'll make it there safely. So a single and a walk off of Breezy in the top of the 5th. Puts 2 runners on for the Comets, just like they had in their big 4-run frame.
Yeah, big frames for UT Dallas, trying to add another one here. Is Trinity able to get a run back? You want to keep them down if you're the Comets.
They've had a 4-run inning and a 3-run inning. 4 plus 3 leads to 7. Bunt from Neely, pokes at it, but can't keep it fair. And it's easy to look at maybe the big swings of Hines and Skivington driving in a couple, but it really has been 2 walks drawn by Neely at the center of it all. The catalyst here at the bottom of the order, the 8-hole hitter, but his patience has been quite the virtue for the Comets. Shows it again here. McNaney nearly throws it to second, but will hang on to it.
Bottom of the order has been working for UT Dallas, able to get on base and allow top of the order to bring him in, really setting the table for this bonanza of runs.
Breezy wanted it, not gonna get it. Different inning, same story for Neely. He falls behind, but he battles back. Now an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Continues to just make the pitcher work. 3 plate appearances now and 3 full counts to Neely, who still has no career hit at the collegiate level. But with the way it's working, he may not have to swing the bat ever if he can keep looking at balls outside the zone. Can Breezy make him swing the bat? He won't swing, but this time he'll head back to the dugout. Strike 3 on the inside part of the plate finally gets Neely retired.
Good change of approach by Trinity. They've been trying to get swings and misses outside the zone. Neely just not offering at all in any at-bat. Decided to go right at him and get strike 3.
So a big first out of the inning for Breezy. Still just 1 away, and the 2 Comets out there. Breaking ball, a strike to Savage. Savage, the transfer from Ranger College last year, hit .330. Drove in 11 with UTD, so he's now spent a couple of seasons with the green and orange. Tries to dribble it the other way, but it'll go foul. Overall, out of 39 Comets that are with uniform assigned, 26 of them have transferred at one point or another. So whether it's newly this year or if they've spent a couple of years with the Comets, 26 transfers. Savage, one of them, goes up to get the 0-2 and will foul it towards the Tiger dugout.
Coach Shoemake saying that last year they lost more players than normal. starting to get to the end of the players who have that 5th year of COVID eligibility. But as we touched on earlier, just a matter of these guys gelling. Talent everywhere throughout this lineup, as you're seeing today. 7 runs on the board and potential for more right here.
Swing and a miss by Savage. McNaney takes care of it behind the plate. Breezy able to bounce back with 2 strikeouts, 2 outs now in the 5th.
Able to go low with the breaking ball, get the swing on top of it, and a great bounce back by Jack Breezy, allowing the first 2 runners to reach, able to hold them right where they are, but still more work to do as the top of the lineup up for Dallas.
The ever dangerous Andrew Skivington will have to wait on a Breezy step off. Has Finn out at second, Camp at first. Finn singled, Camp walked. But now a pair of strikeouts leaves Breezy an out away. Breaking ball keeps Skivington looking. Strike number 1. Get a great look at the 6'5" second baseman. Takes one low and away, evens it up at 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Jack Breezy's been using that breaking ball effectively, got the strikeout with it. But his most important strikeout probably on Neely, who reached twice with a walk, went right at him.
Right at the ankle of Skivington there, though. So a little delayed, as it looked like Neely might be the one to load the bases. Instead, Skivington will do that. With Self up to bat, Hines on deck. The part of the order for the Comets that you do not want to mess around with.
Not at all, and the bases will be loaded as that clearly catches his lower leg. But Jack Breezy, that's a tough break. Nearly getting out of this inning after allowing the first 2 to reach. And now having to work with everybody on for Dallas.
(1-0) on the way to Self. In there, strike 1. The Comets not just losing numbers on their roster, losing a lot of talent. 4 first-team all-conference members that they have had to replace. But right now, looking good against the team that eliminated them. Self takes another strike outside, falls behind 1-2. Trying to really blow it open for the Comets. McNaney can't pull it back in the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes now for the sophomore making his debut. Can they keep the Tigers down just 5? The line drive to right center field is gonna get down. Gore, the throw home, just late. And those are 2 more Comet runs. So Yeager, Self, doesn't try to do too much, lines at the opposite field, and it results in a 7-run advantage for the UT Dallas Comets.
Good piece of hitting and able to get those runners in scoring position. When you have a big lead like this, you want to add on. Don't let these Tigers back into the game, as both of these teams were able to score 10 runs multiple times in the series they played against each other. Dallas 3, Trinity 2 of those 4 games. So we know both of these sides know the runs the other side can put up. Important to get a big lead when you have it.
Massive cut by Hines. Takes a look at his hands to see if he had enough pine tar on them. Bat nearly gets away from him. But that's all that has gotten away from him. Look at the line. 3 for 3 to increase his average on the year to 435. Fouls this one straight back. McNaney will give it a chase, but it'll be dropped. And I think that hit the net on the way down, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
I was going to say we couldn't tell with the angle we were seeing whether that ball hit the screen or not, but it looked like it bounced back. So would not have counted anyways for number 23. Still Breezy trying to get this last strike and hold it to where it is.
He'll check on the runner Self beforehand. But the 3-4 hitters, Hines and Bivens for UT Dallas, both new transfers this year, And Coach Shoemake just saying they've been there, done that. That's what's allowed them to succeed so quickly. And rifling one foul there. But Hines is not missing a thing that is thrown his way right now.
Hasn't missed a thing all year, hitting above 400. Been a key part of this ball game. And will try to continue to do it as a hit would put a 10 spot on the board for Dallas.
Runner going to second and not even a throw. That was a great jump by Self. And again, these little things that the Comets just continue to do well, resulting in a 9-2 advantage. And a base hit could put them in double digits. Hines looking to make it happen. 2-2 on the way from Breezy. A breaking ball that hangs, but Hines can't get that one.
UT Dallas just continuing to fight in their at-bats. Patience and the ability to touch a baseball when you need to. Staying alive with 2 strikes as Dallas has shown all the little details of their game. Paid off big time tonight so far.
This time, the breaking ball too high, and it'll take the count full. You can hear the very active Comet dugout. They've been spectators to 9 runs for their side, looking for a pair more. Hines not chasing those pitches. And he gets one he can handle into left. You don't want to hang him against him. 2 more Comet runs. It's an 11-2 lead.
As the doors have been blown open here. Hines able to get a hold of another one. 4 for 4 today. As Dallas clicking on all cylinders. Scoreboard shows it 11-2 Comets.
And Breezy won't make it out of the inning as another pitching change on the way. The Comets have matched the most runs the Tigers have given up all year, and they still have a whole lot more time to make it even more. So stay tuned on Tiger Network to see what the Comets and Tigers have in store.
Pitching change for Trinity. Now the mound for the Tigers, a sophomore right-hander from Allen, Texas, number 18, Clayton Jackson. Next up for the Comets, third baseman, number 19, Dylan Bivitt.
A meteor shower in San Antonio tonight. The Comets making some noise. And the cleanup hitter looking to keep this magical 5th inning going. Already 4 runs across. And a first pitch strike by the newest Tiger pitcher. We've seen our handful of them. We've seen Schmidt, Bokey, Newman, Breezy, now Clayton Jackson. The big 6'4" right-handed pitcher misses outside. He's had a great start to the season, very similar to Breezy. Not exactly Tommy John, but due to injury, missed the entirety of his freshman year. And now, taking full advantage of the opportunities being presented to him.
Yeah, I've seen Clayton Jackson in some big moments, trying to hold deficits, keep tie scores. They put him in there when they need him. A lot of big moments for Clayton Jackson. This, not one of them.
And that pitch nicks Bivens. Nothing like the one that hit Finn earlier squarely in the back, but a hit batter nonetheless. And the success just keeps on going for the Comets. 11-2. And they have runners on first and second, 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Making sure that their trip down from Richardson is a happy one. That one a strike to Zamora.
UTD also put in a tough position. You mentioned it. Playing Saturday, Sunday, then having to come here for Tuesday, and then going to Florida on Thursday. So this game right in the middle of a lot of action. They are handling it well, up 11-2.
Hack and a miss there by Zamora. Jackson gets ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. We really haven't had to see much of a strategy shift for Coach Shoemake since Casamates has done so well. We were maybe expecting some more arms on his side, but it's been the starter the whole way. Told us that with those games later in Florida and with the games just previously so recently against McMurray, that he might want to rest some guys, might want to get more arms in there. And we still might, only halfway through this game. But Casamates has held the Tigers down and let the offense explode. Zamora, a fly ball to center field. Peterson has an eye on it and makes the catch. But 4 more runs come around for the UT Dallas Comets. It's an 11-2 advantage for the Richardson natives. We'll be back after a break on Tiger Network.
Pitching change for UT Dallas. Now the mound for the Comets. Leading right-hander number 20, Brett Huff.
After 4 very solid innings, Apollo Casamates' day is done, and he gives way to Brett Huff, the junior from Trophy Club, Texas. Has an 11-2 lead to work with, and fires in a first pitch strike to Christian Holloway. Really a job well done from the Shriner transfer.
Yeah, absolutely. Only 2 runs given up. Just looked really confident, really in control throughout the entire game. And in line, and highly likely that he gets a win in this one.
And considering the conference that he came from, this Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference, think about the offenses that he had to face. As Huff misses with the breaking ball there. 2-1 the count. Had to face this Trinity Tigers offense that averaged over 9 a game. Had to face Texas Lutheran that had Joe Jimenez in the middle of the lineup, Tyler Post, and is a very potent offensive side. For Casamates to be an honorable mention at Shriner as a pitcher in that conference is really a testament to the talent he has, and it has now been added to an already very talented UT Dallas squad.
Yeah, UTD knows how good the Texas Lutheran offense is as Holloway draws a walk. Knows how good they are, losing 13-3 to them earlier in the season. But just a testament to what an achievement it is to make that honorable mention out of that spot.
After the walk, Peterson will take his turn up to bat. But after that, I think we're going to see a bunch of new Tigers. So get ready for that in this 11-2 ball game, bottom of the 5th. Peterson takes one low, ball 1. Last time Huff pitched was against a different Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference foe. That was Southwestern. Went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits and a run. Struck out 2 Pirates on the way. Ball 2 here to Peterson. So for Coach Shoemake, making this change to number 20. And right as I was about to say that, really up 9, you have to throw strikes. And that's what the coach is going to have to say right now. You can't walk the leadoff hitter, get behind 2-0, just throw strikes and make the team beat you.
Yeah, got to make them beat you. Can't beat yourself in this situation. And I'm sure that's a lot of what that conversation's about. But early in this outing, plenty of time to turn that around despite being down 0-2 against Peterson.
And you see a very short visit to the mound by Coach Shoemake in his 22nd year as head coach of the University of Texas, Dallas. He knows a thing or two, saying that he comes back every year because he still feels that he has something to teach his team. And he says, at the end of the day, I hope they learn more than bunt coverages and pitch sequences. They hope they learn how to be a better human being and how to be a good leader. So both head coaches in this game, over 20 years at their respective schools, and immediately after the visit, a fastball down the middle for a strike.
Yep, making those adjustments. He will knock in a strike on Peterson. Up 9 runs. It's okay if they get a few. Just don't give them free base runners, and that's exactly what walks are.
Back-to-back strikes after the visit from Huff. And something to keep in mind for this Tiger offense, despite an 8-4 record, the offense not as explosive as you might be used to seeing on Tiger Network. Through 12 games, they have not reached double-digit runs at all. So to win this one, they're going to have to do something they have not done before. Peterson able to tip it down. Got a piece of the umpire there. Hopefully he's all right. Catcher Camp will give him some time to rest as he visits Huff. But that number again, Cole, over 9.5 runs per game for the Tigers last year, among the very best in the country. They've been able to win games in very different fashion thanks to a pitching staff that before today had really stepped up to the mound, not the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. Below 3 runs allowed per game in terms of the team ERA, below 3, as opposed to over 6 the year before. And that was a lot of the conversation with that World Series team, as Peterson will strike out for the first out of the inning. A lot of conversation with that World Series team. They're here in spite of that pitching staff, something they really looked to turn around and have so far this season, even though it's not going to show up tonight.
Last year was the type of situation that Tigers get down 7, 8, 9. You weren't really sure that the game was over. Game against St. Thomas comes to mind. It was 7-0 in the very first inning, and the Tigers won that game. McMurray game, very similar, a Tuesday night game like this. Tigers got down in the first frame, and they came back to win. The offense hasn't shown that they have that in store this season, but it's still very early. Maybe they can show that they can put that kind of outburst out there, and they're certainly going to need it. The first of many pinch hitters, Austin Davison, a chopper to short. That's a double play. Garrett Neely doing more than just taking pitches at the plate. He is turning two by himself. So Brett Huff gets a visit to the mound, gets told to throw strikes, and he does to get 3 outs. We're through 5 in San Antonio. UT Dallas 11, Trinity 2.
A host of lineup changes for Trinity. Now in the first spot, in left field, Austin Davison. In the second spot in right, Trey Gerber. Batting third and catching, Matt McNamee. Batting in the fourth spot, playing at third base, Tanner Haney. Batting fifth at first base, Orson Hastings. Batting sixth at second base, Cal Coney. Batting seventh, playing at shortstop, number 7, Jack Baker. Remaining in the lineup, in the 8th spot, designated hitter Christian Holloway, and in the 9th spot, center fielder Jack Peterson. Leading off for the Comets, right fielder number 18, Luke Finn.
Luke Finn, the leadoff hitter in this top of the 6th. Comets enjoying an 11-2 lead. Fired in fastball, misses up and in from Clayton Jackson. He is the 5th Tiger pitcher of the afternoon. So 1 for each inning so far. Strike outside, evens it up at 1 ball, 1 strike. And this UT Dallas team, despite falling short to Trinity a year ago in the playoffs, it has been an upward trajectory over the past couple of seasons. After 15 times making the ASC tournament, the American Southwest Conference tournament, and falling short, they have won 3 of the last 4 tournaments, 2018, 2021, and 2022. It's finally that knocking on the door, and then you burst it open. That's what the Comets have done.
Yeah, they were knocking on the door quite a bit, as Coach Shoemake was commenting that they had lost the title game 5 times before finally kicking down that door. So he said it's not just like they randomly got there. They've been a good program in the past, but they figured out how to win that first one, and now it's just routine.
And it was really neat to have a conversation with Coach Shoemake just a couple of weeks after talking to Coach Coleman of Hardin-Simmons, because Coach Coleman a few weeks ago brought up UT Dallas and how they have gone through the conference so many times before finally winning it, as Finn hit in the back here on the full count. So he'll start the 6th inning with a lead-off hit by pitch for the 2nd time. Poor guy. Will be a painful trip to Richardson for him.
Yeah, normally I think you're happy to get on base, but maybe being up 9, you don't want to take that.
Absolutely, but we'll keep on talking about this UT Dallas team. As Coach Coleman saying, we have been to the tournament and to the final several times, never been able to win it. Hardin-Simmons still to this day, no ASC championship, but he called out UT Dallas saying, we want to be the next Comet team. We want to be the team that finally burst through that door, and bringing that up to Coach Shoemake, and that's when it led to him saying, well, it's not like we just randomly got there. We had been pushing for it, and saying, once you get that weight off your shoulder, now the guys on the team have said, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you win a conference championship. And it just sort of opened the floodgates at that point, leading to those 3 in the last 4 attempts. And now it seems like they're a powerhouse, but they really always have been. They just weren't able to get the final win of the year.
Yeah, once you get over that hurdle, you see it in major sports all the time when you have a team that's really, really good and hits like the second round maybe in the playoffs and just can't kick down that door. They can't bust through. But then eventually, once they do, the floodgates open, and that's all they can do. And UT Dallas, a similar story there.
It's a conference that was for so long dominated by the University of Texas Tyler, who now is in the Division II level. Then Texas Lutheran, who now Trinity considers a conference foe. Well, they used to be in the ASC. They won several championships up there. So now that those two powers are out of the way, the likes of UT Dallas have been able to step up. And then you always have very solid teams in Concordia, Mary Hardin Baylor, McMurray. But lately, the #1 team, the green and orange of UT Dallas, able to defeat East Texas Baptist in the final last year, who this year is picked to win the conference. So despite UT Dallas beating the Tigers in their home park last year, ETBU receiving votes to start the year in the poll nationally also picked to win the conference, and the comments are trying to say not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast. Not off to the best start that they could have been. Off to 15-1 start last season. If this score holds, it'll be 7-5 now. But the comments showing that maybe they're the favorites.
And they're putting themselves through the grinder earlier. We hinted at it when you said it. Really is the toughest schedule that they feel they have put together. And we'll give you a little taste of what they have coming up. That's the 2-1 on the way. Camp, a big swing and a miss. They're facing Trinity right now, the #14 team in the country, according to that latest D3 baseball poll. And then there's really two polls in college baseball at the D3 level, d3baseball.com and the American Baseball Coaches Association. So you kind of have to go back and forth a little bit as Jackson gets strike 3 called, first out of the inning. But whether you ask ABCA or D3 baseball, the teams are going to play are pretty good. So coming up in Florida, Bethel, #32 to start the year in the ABCA. Rowan, who is #5 in the country. Salve Regina, who is receiving votes. And Southern Maine, who is #38, according to the ABCA. So with Trinity and those 4 upcoming teams really among the best 40 teams in the country that the Comets are having to go through.
Yeah, Comets really getting up their SOS. But not only that, winning some of these games, really tough schedule, but also it prepares you for the tough conference play that's going to be coming up. Hardens your team as they're able to go through a conference tournament, potentially come out on top.
That strength of schedule, just so crucial, whether it's basketball or baseball you're talking about. If you're a Tiger fan that watches multiple sports, or a Comet fan that has been watching multiple sports on Tiger Network, you might remember Trinity women's basketball defeating UT Dallas just a few days ago in Calgary Gym, first round of the NCAA tournament. And all we have heard about for the last week is strength of schedule, strength of schedule, strength of schedule, leading to who hosts, who gets to play at home, all sorts of things. And so at the end of the day, you'd like to win more than you lose, but even just having a team on your schedule that is going to be ranked helps you at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know when you need that at-large bid. Always want to win your conference tournament, automatic spot in the NCAA tournament. But if you can't do it, you rely on that strength of schedule to help boost you above some of these other teams that also didn't win their conference tournament. And that's the difference between making the playoffs and missing out.
Surprising no one, another full count for Garrett Neely. He is a perfect 4 for 4 on that, but the latest 2 have not gone his way. A second strikeout of Neely, so he has 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and Clayton Jackson, after getting the first man on, hitting him, has struck out 2 Comets.
Yeah, good rebound from Clayton Jackson as that runner able to advance to second base, but nobody able to bring him further. As 2 down in the top of the 6th, trying to get out of this one.
Savage, the man at the plate, looks at a first pitch breaking ball. And to continue this strength of schedule talk, no one really knows more about this than the Trinity Tigers, who have gone to the NCAA tournament the last 2 years, even though they have not won their conference. Last year, the Centenary Gents winning that tournament in dramatic fashion, and the year before, Texas Lutheran in even more dramatic fashion, beating the Tigers in the championship game. So Trinity didn't have that automatic bid to rely on. They had to have an at-large berth, And because they scheduled teams like UT Dallas, very tough opponents early in the season, they were able to get in the tournament and then make some noise after the fact.
Yeah, UT Dallas, Birmingham Southern, Babson, all really good strength of schedule games. And the Tigers faring well in a lot of those before this one, not this one, as you see by the score line. But really helpful when you don't win that conference tournament. Don't love to put all your eggs into one basket, into that one game, as it has not gone Trinity's way in the past 2 seasons.
It also says a lot about the power of SCAC baseball, that multiple programs have won the conference in the last several years. And it's only getting stronger as Jackson's 1-2 blown by Savage. After the hit batter, 3 strikeouts for Clayton Jackson, and that one a fiery fastball will send us to the bottom of the 6th. Stay tuned, we have plenty to talk about, don't worry, in this 11-2 UT Dallas lead.
Clayton Jackson takes up 3 strikeouts. Middle of 6, UT Dallas 11, Trinity 2.
Bottom of the 6th here in San Antonio. Tigers down 9. Turn into some pinch hitters. This time, Trey Verver, who more than anything, we are just thrilled to see is okay after that hit he took in right field. A blow to the face running into that bullpen fence. We didn't know if he was going to get up, and now he's back in the next game.
Yeah, didn't end up finishing that game. Talked to Ty Preston about that. He said that Peterson would have come in for Verver anyways, just because of the lefty matchup that they had with Peterson coming in. But Trey Verver okay, and very fortunate and thankful to see him in the batter's box.
Unable to get a hold of that pitch. Verver 1 for 9 on the year thus far. Got his first hit in that Sunday before that hit. Little inside out swing to right. He loves to hit it the other way. And that's where Huff is keeping it. So 3-1 count for Verver. Huff had to be talked to after he led off the 5th with a walk and got behind the next hitter. Coach Shoemake coming to say, just throw some strikes, and he did. Got the next 3 outs. Throws a strike here to bring the count full.
Yep, not letting. He's going to make Trinity beat him, not beating himself. That's what we want to do when you have a 9-run cushion, and has done a great job of adjusting to that style of play.
Hard line drive towards the Comet dugout, making sure they're awake. Trey Verver, a sophomore, just like Lazera, just like Nelson, who we've seen. And he's able to take ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Trey Verver and the Tigers. And even though he certainly didn't want to do it down 11-2, we know that Coach Scannell loves Tuesday night games because it allows him to experiment and try some new things. Isn't that right, Cole?
Absolutely. Gives a bunch of guys an opportunity. We've seen so many guys on both sides getting opportunities who haven't seen the field yet this season or haven't been put in that position. Also talks about the importance of winning Tuesday night games for at-large bids. Talked about not putting all your eggs in one basket, not putting all your eggs in the conference tournament. And beating teams like UT Dallas, or in this case, UT Dallas beating Trinity, to try and earn an at-large bid if they should need it.
Last year, the Tigers only losing 1 Tuesday night game. Pretty spotless record. during the middle of the week. That helped them get that at-large bid, even though Centenary won the SCAC. The 1-1 to McNaney, misses outside. We saw McNaney, one of the first new Tigers to come into this game, was a defensive replacement for Nick Lazera. Now the first at-bat for the Albuquerque native. Grounds it towards the second baseman. Won't be able to get the lead runner, so he'll take care of McNaney. 1 out for Huff.
I know you're too humble to say this, Brian, but the McNaney parents coming up to Brian on Sunday's game, just saying what a great job he does. And how thankful they are that they get to watch their son play on a great stream, and how thankful they are for all the work everybody here puts in.
It's always so nice to meet parents and grandparents and friends and family who listen on Tiger Network and then come out to some games in person. This one gets away from the catcher. So Verver will move over to third, but that's who we do it for. People like the McNaneys in Albuquerque know they can't come to every single game from New Mexico. So always want to deliver the best content, the best stories, best information as possible. So thank you to the McNaneys for coming to say hello. Another one gets away from the catcher. Verver will slide home safely. Camp struggling on the last 2 deliveries from Huff, and that's the 3rd run of the game for the Tigers.
Not very often you see a runner get on with and come all the way around the score with not that much help from his teammates. Ground ball able to get him to second base, but Trey Verver able to take advantage of opportunities from there and put the 3rd run on the board for Trinity.
Tanner Haney swings past the 2-0 delivery. Haney, the graduate student from Waco, Texas, played all 3 games against Babson. Seeing his first action against the Comets. Another big swing and a miss. So the count 2-2. But I have to say, Cole, I appreciate the shout out. And it's been so fun to do so many games across many sports on Tiger Network. But you have done an excellent job filling in while there was a ton of craziness around campus. Drew me to playoff basketball in the NCAA tournament, but Tiger Network didn't miss a beat with you in charge.
Well, I appreciate that, Brian. Always an interesting and amazing opportunity when you get to host playoff basketball.
It certainly was to see the full stands in Calgar Gym, but then you turn a corner and you open the control room doors, and there you were with Josh calling baseball, not bothered by it at all. Brett Huff resorting back to what we saw in the 5th at the beginning of it. Walks Haney after he walked Verver in a couple of wild pitches, so this is not what UT Dallas wants to see from the bullpen in an 8-run game now. And the new pinch hitter, Corson Hastings, getting his first at-bat.
Everybody getting in this one for Trinity. Corson Hastings getting the game 1 start against Concordia, Wisconsin. Now has an opportunity to settle into this one, as he has a runner on first that he can bring over. Going to be tough for Trinity to come back into this game, but at the very least want to end on a good note, chip away and build something for tomorrow, as it'll be a quick turnaround with DeSales coming in.
It sure will. Hastings fouls it back. The DeSales Bulldogs never would imagine a team from Pennsylvania would become so familiar, but they're going to be in town for the 3rd time in the last 3 seasons. And do we have some stories with them in town tomorrow? But you'll have to wait till tomorrow. Not going to give it away tonight. Come on now.
Stay tuned.
Hastings has 1 ball, 2 strikes on him. Gotten some opportunities at first base early in this campaign. Swings over the top of this one in the turf, so a strikeout for Huff. It'll send Hastings to the dugout, and it'll bring up number 11, Cal Coney.
Cal Coney did not see any action last weekend, but 2 starts in the prior series. As first year settling in from Los Angeles, California.
Didn't take him very long to get settled in the maroon and white. Looks at a first pitch strike, but against Hardin Simmons, first at bat, well, why not check off hit and RBI at the same time? That's what Coney did. Part of this entire calculus for Coach Scannell is that he really feels he has an embarrassment of riches, that you can only put 9 guys in a lineup on any given night. So it goes part of that Tuesday love that he has for these games. It gives him a chance to just get another opening for guys who maybe didn't play on the weekend or maybe haven't played so far. Throw them in there, throw them into the fire, and see what can happen. It's not sure what's going on out there in center field. No more dirt on the baseball field, so something in the air tonight. Hasn't been good for the Tigers, but in this inning, 3 wild pitches now have given them a run and a runner on second.
Yeah, not what you want to do in a game like this, just giving bases away. Throw strikes and finish this thing out.
We do know what is happening in center field. Our beloved oak pollen season is apparently back in town this March. You might be new to it, Cole.
I am new to that. I do not know what that is. That was not part of the prep for this broadcast.
Well, you got to prep for it because it is strong once spring comes around. Coney staying alive in this at-bat. But when the flowers start to bloom and the trees start to grow green again in San Antonio, and especially in the hill country, you will see yellow everywhere. Yellow on your cars, yellow on the street, and that is oak pollen. It is not very kind to the sinuses either.
I can imagine. That seems rough.
Cole bounces it right back. And that'll be out number 3. Get a look at the replay. It was a little inside-out swing for Coney. Tigers do get a run thanks to some wild pitches, but Huff gets around it, and the Dallas Comets hold on to an 8-run lead.
Trey Boomer scores in the inning on a wild pitch. UTD leads 11-3. Top of the order, team. Second baseman, number 11, Andrew Skivington.
Top of the 7th in San Antonio, UT Dallas 11, Trinity 3. And the top of the Comet order up to bat, Andrew Skivington has had himself quite the day. Pair of RBI, 2 hits. And he takes ball 1 from Clayton Jackson, who has come in and at least settled things down for a Tiger pitching staff that struggled early in this game.
Yeah, lots of clumps of runs given up. Lots of big innings for the Comets. But Clayton Jackson able to settle it down a little bit, but not there.
Going to get a look at Skivington, who, very similar to his teammate Luke Finn, has now been hit for the second time. Looper misses high to Jaeger-Self. So not the start he wanted to the 7th inning, but Clayton Jackson, an inning and a third so far, 3 strikeouts, no runs allowed up to this point. And it puts some evidence to the words we have heard about him leading up to the season and through the start of it. And that's that at many times he has shown glimpses of being a true ace on the mound. After not getting a chance to pitch last year, has shown up early in this year. But this 7th inning not going the way he wants it to. A hit batter and now a single. The throw gets away to the Tiger dugout. Won't go in it, so the runner will stay at third, but Skivington has a buddy behind him. Runners on second and third. But despite the start to this inning, it doesn't take away from how much praise Clayton Jackson has received this year.
Absolutely. He's been put into some huge spots this season. And able to settle it down a little bit here. Not the inning he wants in the 7th so far, but able to settle it down, somewhat stop the bleeding. And one of the many improvements that this pitching staff has made, several guys of note, that you can just see the improvement this season compared to last. Clayton Jackson, one of them.
And it really is so commendable on many fronts, as Jackson goes in and gets a strike on Robert Hines, who is 4 for 4 on the day, looking to make it a high 5 for 5. But whether it's returning from injury like Breezy or Jackson, or sticking it out until your senior year like Tinker or Cedric Bowman, the story is perseverance. You never know when you're going to get that chance, and sometimes it'll take a lot of effort and a lot of struggle to get back to get that one more chance. But Jackson is just another example of what it takes and what can be done when you put your mind to it.
Yeah, we touched on it coming into the season, a lot of key producers for Trinity leaving. So a lot of opportunities everywhere for Tigers that have waited their turn. And Clayton Jackson, one of them, just on the mound.
He's ahead in the count, 0-2 on Hines, trying to do something no Tiger pitcher has done today, and that's send him to the dugout without a hit. Has Comets on third and second. The 0-2 to Hines, and got a hanger in his last at-bat, sent it to left field. Couldn't quite send that one into the field of play, but that is not a pitch you want to throw to the 3-hole hitter.
Not absolutely, especially when he's feeling it. 4 for 4 already. Could have been 5 for 5 right there. Not very often you see somebody go for 5 for 5. I cannot remember the last time I saw that.
Well, nearly. We're going to see it, but shortstop had other plans. Jack Baker there on just another hard hit ball from Hines. So even though it's not a hit, it just continues his rocket of a day.
Everything coming off of his bat with velocity. Just unfortunate for him that that goes right to Baker. This could have easily been 5 for 5. I believe that would have been my first 5 for 5 that I've ever witnessed.
Maybe it's the first 4 for 5 you've witnessed. For Jackson, all he cares about is the first out, but Bivens not wasting any time behind Hines. Smacks a single into right center field. 2 more Comets come around to score, and it's a 10-run Dallas lead.
Working with runners in scoring position, UT Dallas has not missed their opportunities when given them. Hagging breaking ball, going to take it and put 2 more on the board for the Comets.
With that base hit, now officially the most runs the Tigers have given up all season long. And with that marker comes another change. Clayton Jackson will leave the ball game. Dave Smith making a change to Luke Pfeiffer. We'll take a break on Tiger Network and be back when Luke is ready.
for Trinity. Now on the mound for the Tigers from Valencia, California, number 27, Luke Pfeiffer. Hitting for the Comets, number 24, Grayson Coulthard.
A new Comet and a new Tiger all at the same time. Let's get to know them. At the plate, Grayson Coulthard, the sophomore from Allen, Texas. He is pinch hitting here in the 5th spot for UTD, and he will face Luke Pfeiffer, another sophomore, making his first appearance of the year. Starts with a breaking ball. That's a ball. That one misses just a little low and outside for Pfeiffer, who very similar to McNaney when we were talking about families who can't make it to every game. Well, Luke Pfeiffer from Valencia, California. We've gotten to meet his parents. They are awesome and always say a friendly hello. So if you're tuning in, little shout out to them. Maybe comment in the chat. Seeing Luke make his first appearance of the year after a busy freshman season for him. 10 appearances, including 3 starts. He gets a 3-0 delivery in there for a strike. And how about a start when it matters most? Game 2 against Birmingham Southern in Birmingham. He went 2 innings, gave up just 1 hit, 2 runs. Pair of strikeouts in the most crucial part of the season for the Tigers.
Shows up when it matters most, getting his first opportunity of the season. A little difficult to believe. I know in the break when you were looking up his stats and you saw that he hadn't made an appearance yet, you were a little shocked. But Tuesday night, guys getting to get out there who haven't in the past, but Luke Pfeiffer has shown that he can do the job.
And he gets an out here on the catch and foul territory, so the pinch hit opportunity not going the way Coulthard wanted it. But it's one of those instances, it's happened a couple of times lately where I have all the stats prepared, have all the numbers right in front of me, yet there are certain things you see that you don't quite believe, even though you know you have spent all the time putting it down. It happened when I thought Natalie Anderson hit her first 3 of the year, and she did until it got called back for Trinity women's basketball. And it happened here where I had that Luke hadn't pitched, but I was like, wait a second. I must have missed something in those games where I was at basketball. And nope, Luke really making his first appearance and getting the first out, now getting a swing and a miss on a changeup. Has shown a lot of promise in his early career. Throws very hard. Shows a lot of energy on the mound as well. That is one of the things you will notice. Gets one in the turf, but a nice block there by McNaney.
Really good pick there. As that ball thrown really hard into the turf. Came up just as fast. McNaney able to get a glove to it across his body.
Big swing and a miss on one up there for Luke Finn. He is 1 for 2 on the day, has come around to score twice, and more painfully has been hit twice. But whatever it takes for Finn, the junior from Lucas, Texas. And that's strike 3 called. Luke Pfeiffer. Couldn't believe it was out number 3, but it was. So strike 3, out 3 for Luke Pfeiffer. Takes care of business and keeps the deficit at 10. UT Dallas 13, Trinity 3, and it's time to stretch, but we'll keep it right here for multiple reasons. One, I believe, Cole, if I'm not mistaken, you're about to get to know Luke a whole lot better.
I believe I am. Both of us are going on the Sport in England trip. That's going to be a very cool experience led by Dr. Tingle. Going to be happening just after next Christmas, so December of this year, headed into January. And it'll be really fun to get to know everybody on that trip. Really looking forward to that experience. I know you went on it.
I did go on it. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life, spending 2 weeks in London, discovering the sports scene there, going to a cricket match, going to 2 football, or soccer, as you may want to call it here, games in Wembley Stadium. And speaking of Dr. Tingle, the man, the myth, the legend himself, I have an update from him on his son, who is starting his baseball career at the high school level. So have to give a shout out to Finnegan Tingle. He's on JVB at Alamo Heights High School. And the Mules today won 17-0. And Finnegan showing a little Shohei Ohtani action because he drew 3 walks at the plate, had a steal, and scored twice. And then he pitched, gave up just 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 4 in 2 innings. So congratulations to Finnegan Tingle, leading the Mules to victory. And now, when you go to London, you have something to compliment Dr. Tingle about, Cole.
Absolutely. I appreciate the little tidbit there.
You got to start him young on the baseball diamond. Biased here, but it's the best sport that there is. So anybody who can become a part of it, whether it's broadcasting or playing, should give it a whirl. After that little time to stretch and story time, it's time for the bottom of the 7th inning. Jack Baker and his glow stick get the first at-bat of the evening.
The glow stick today, enemy colors, as UT Dallas wearing orange, playing Trinity. But maybe some magic left in it.
Little pop-up in foul territory. There is room to make it work. Out number 1. Glow stick there, no match for the delivery from Connor Ray, the 3rd Comet pitcher we've seen this evening. He's a junior from Weatherford, Texas. And if you want to scratch off your little bingo card at home, yes, he is a transfer as well, but not just once, twice for really good measure. Most recently transferring from Mid-American Christian University in Oklahoma City. And he also was at Texas A&M Texarkana. Those are 2 NAIA programs. And now he's at the Division III level. Gets a swing on one high from Holloway.
I cannot help but notice that Christian Holloway rocking a glow stick of his own. So either that's the same glow stick that has just been passed on, or there are now 2 glow sticks that the Tigers are using.
This is the investigative reporting we need. We need to find out now, clearly.
Gonna go down there tomorrow and we're gonna find out. Does Holloway have his own now?
Well, whoever it is, it results in a line drive single to center field. So the glow stick working its magic there. A single for Holloway. And one of just 2 Tigers that remain from the starting lineup takes advantage of the repeated at-bats. And now the other one, Peterson, will come up with a runner on first.
Glow stick power is one of the only few things working for Trinity tonight, as Holloway able to get on with 1 out, and we'll see what Jack Peterson can do. Normally a threat to bunt in this situation, but being down 10, we'll see what he does.
Well, there was a bunt shown. He can do the little things like that. He can steal bases, as we highlighted, 7 for 7. But he also has some pop in that bat, and he wanted to showcase it yesterday. His team down to its final hitter in the home run derby, and Jack Peterson promising that he would go 3 for 3 with 3 home runs to keep his team alive. And on the first swing he gave after a couple of takes, everyone thought he really got it, and it hit the top of the fence, immediately eliminating his team. He still kept at it, trying to at least hit one, couldn't get one over the fence. So maybe it's the game time that he needs for a home run.
Yeah, that was kind of a holy crap moment from all of us. I don't think anybody thought he was going to go 3 for 3, but once he got that first one, you were like, oh, maybe. Fell just a bit short, though, and so did Jack's team. As mentioned earlier, Austin Davidson, 2 home runs opposite field. He was able to whack the ball towards the pool.
Peterson takes a strike here. Count 3-1. But his inability to tie the game let Ezra Gore really off the hook, because Ezra didn't really want to participate in the home run derby. He felt it would ruin his swing, and so he waited till the very end, and only if his team needed him would he have stepped up, and he did not have to. Nice looking swing there for Peterson, going down to get it, and getting another single for the Tigers. So Holloway and Peterson getting something going for the Tigers, and here comes the home run derby champ himself, Austin Davidson.
Peterson able to go down and get this one, just put it in play. Wanted the home runs last night, but understands that here you just need to get on base. But I think Jack would want us to make it known that he was not the first pick. Felt he should have been. Was consistently saying that he would go 3 for 3, despite the fact that everybody undervalued him, and did nearly get one. So good job, Jack. But Austin Davidson said it earlier, 2 home runs.
Takes a breaking ball there for a strike, so falls behind quickly, 0-2. But anyone who has seen Austin take BP or practice at any given moment knew he was a sure bet to win any home run derby. He's done it before. And last year, among the likes of Jack Vonderhaar and Brian Schaub and MJ Metz, he put on some pretty good shows. Although here, has to fan at one outside, strike 3. But really, he can go up against anyone, and is hoping to get some more appearances after hurting his finger a little bit on a pickoff attempt earlier in this season. Now back in the lineup after these changes, and hopefully we'll see him more as the season continues.
Well, you can see him in a lot of different places. Probably won't see him at catcher this season, but can play first base, one of the many people that can do that, and also in left field as well.
Verver gets some wood on that one. Holloway coming around, and he is gonna be thrown out. So in a 10-run game, the Tigers try to get a 4th run on the board, and they are thrown out at home. Just not the Tigers' night so far. A wonderful throw from Savage out there in left, and a good tag from Kemp. So despite 3 singles for the Tigers, no runs added, and they remain down 10, headed to the top of the 8th. Pinch hitter here for the UTD Comets, Nico Fernandez, the freshman from Cypress, Texas, getting his first career at-bat. Congratulations to him, and he doesn't waste any time, grounds it to second base, and is the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch in his career, 1 out.
Swinging early, not something we've seen too often tonight out of the Comets. Very patient in their at-bats, but getting on top of it. Pitch inside, right to Calcone, who takes care of it.
Garrett Neely now has been a thorn in the side of the Tigers all night. Takes the first pitch ball for these University of Texas Dallas Comets, who have invaded the airspace of the Tigers tonight. no comet has actually hit Earth, but several have hit San Antonio tonight. And it only begs the question, right? Why are they the comets?
Best part of the broadcast, everybody, coming up right now. Let's hear it.
Well, you know, basketball is just so much quicker than baseball that I didn't even get to share the Comet story with the Comets in town on Friday night. I didn't get to share any mascot stories during the NCAA tournament. What a shame, right?
I know. Save them all for us, though.
I sure did. It's a good one. So pay attention as Garrett Neely hit in the back. So he'll take the painful walk to first as he gets to listen to why he himself is a Comet. So this is, according to their student newspaper, the Mercury, because it's not officially recorded anywhere, but they have reported that their Comet mascot has been influenced by, quote, university activities accented heavily by space research. Dr. Frank Johnson, once the president of UT Dallas, claimed that without initial funds received from NASA, the university would not have been able to secure financial resources to continue to operate. Really, because of the successful space research and collaborations with NASA, they were able to help themselves legitimize themselves as a university, as a young graduate center. And interrupting rudely the mascot story here is a line drive down the line that'll put runners on second and third for the Comets. But this successful space research gave the university a lot of credibility early on, enough to convince the Texas legislature to bring it underneath the University of Texas wing. Hence why they are now the University of Texas, Dallas. That was back in 1969. And so because of how important space research was to them even surviving as a university, they are known as the Comets.
A cool story and a very cool mascot to go along with it as the Comets. One of the more interesting ones we've seen. I liked the Beavers personally, but the Comets, very nice mascot.
And there's even more to it too, not just that story behind the Comet, because they have taken it one step further, making a nice little furry friend for Comet students. His name is T-Mock, which is Comet spelled backwards. So you will catch T-Mock roaming around UT Dallas sporting events, and he is one of the more well-known D3 mascots. I've seen him everywhere. Even have a day where they all wear socks with his face on it on campus.
That's really cool. T-Mock, very creative. I know it seems simple, but the idea that you're just going to make a name out of your team spelled backwards, that's a little outside the box. Because that one's inside the box.
Yeah, T-Mock was created in 1998. He has blue skin, fiery orange hair, and he has to be loving this UT Dallas game. A 13-3 advantage over Trinity. Ball outside there by a new pinch hitter, Will Dolan.
T-Mock, hope you enjoyed the shout out if you're tuning in.
Yes, please let us know, T-Mock, if you heard that. Comment in the YouTube chat. And Dolan, very similar to Fernandez, making his first at-bat as a Comet. It'll end in a strikeout, although not his first career at-bat. Another one of these transfers. He came from the University of Arkansas, Rich Mountain. But quite a mountain to climb there on that high strike that he swung and missed at. And now, number 6, William Severa, the junior from Fredericksburg, Texas, will try to drive in those runners on second and third. And speaking of mascots, this is not even prepared at all. But Fredericksburg, Texas, Fredericksburg High School tells me he's a Battlin' Billy. Yep, Battlin' Billy.
Battlin' Billy.
Battlin' Billy.
Is that a goat?
That sure is.
Okay.
So really, taking the cake has to be the Battlin' Billies.
I think so. Battlin' Billies. That's good. I'm very pro Battling Billies.
This Battling Billy wears no batting gloves. Takes a ball outside from Pfeiffer. He's trying to throw a second consecutive scoreless frame. He is the 6th Tiger pitcher on a pitching staff that had only given up double-digit runs once this year. And, as we mentioned, no batting gloves, no pine tar, bat flying into the net. Not the type of battling that Billy wants to do.
No. Saw a lot of loose bats before the season started with Trinity. I think there was one practice where they just lost 4. Very random. Haven't seen it since, though.
Sabera really taking the out of this world concept with the space research pretty seriously.
Looks like it.
He's got an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goes down to get it, but it'll be a lazy pop-up. Shortstop Baker has it, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. UT Dallas 13, Trinity 3. As the mascot stories may or may not continue, you have to stick around to find out. Welcome back to Tiger Network, where we know Sam Sewell is tuning in, and you wished upon a shooting star, also known as perhaps a comet. You wanted Ben Sewell in the game. Well, we make dreams come true on Tiger Network. Here he is, the senior from Dallas, Texas, and this is someone that Coach Shoemake was really excited to get in this game today. He is coming off an injury and wanted to make sure that he gets some innings today. He has not done so far this year. And he was an honorable mention in the conference a year ago, a 2.75 ERA, 13 strikeouts in 19 innings. And so really happy to see Sewell back in the game.
Once again, guys getting opportunities Tuesday night. 10-run lead. Good time to see what he can do. Get him back on the mound.
Minor correction there. He was an honorable mention in 2021. Last year in 2022, still had a good year, 2-0. In 5 innings, 5.4 ERA, but it was cut short because of injury, which he is still recovering from. But now making the battle all the way back, and will face the Tigers up 10. So no doubt, coaches want to see him throw some strikes. And the first batter up to the plate, Matt McNaney. It's a ball from Sewell. Similar spot, but this time umpire gives him the strike. And we've really been able to hear it all night long from the Comet dugout. But asking Coach Shane Shoemake, what is the energy among the team? Are they different from the 15-1 start from a year ago, now that you're 6-5, a couple of close losses? And he said, not really. They see the talent that is there. They know it just takes a little more execution, and they have plenty of time to adjust. And so the energy has been evident from the start, making a lot of noise in their visiting dugout. And they're just a few outs away, trying to get closer here if they can catch the McNaney flyout, and they will. From heading back home to Richardson with a much happier 5-hour drive.
Very nice to get a win against a ranked opponent on the road, especially when you're about to go on to your Florida trip. Might as well go on it feeling good, which they absolutely should be, up 10 runs here.
Haney can't catch up to a fastball up and in. We've talked so much about UT Dallas transfers that now that Haney's in the ball game, lets us highlight the fact that he was on the University of Texas Longhorn squad for a few years. Takes a ball that gets out of the catcher's glove for the first ball. But thanks to the great accounting program here at Trinity, he was able to graduate from UT Austin and then come get a master's in accounting in San Antonio. He is in his second of 2 years of that program and still getting to compete on the diamond. Tried to check his swing there. Don't think he did. No, he did not. But if you need your numbers looked at, look no further than number 1, Tanner Haney.
Looks like he definitely went there, but Haney in the home run derby last night did not get a home run, but got one over the fence behind the bullpen. If you're not familiar with the ballpark, tall net.
They knew you were going to talk about it, Cole. And what a catch made out there in front of the Tiger bullpen. Garrett Neely, have yourself a day, sir. He has been excellent at the plate, and now in a dangerous spot, makes the sliding catch.
Drawing some important walks earlier in this one to give Dallas the lead that they have. And UTD continuing to thank him as an incredible sliding catch there. Somehow able to keep his eyes on that one.
Can hear the pop of the mid on that fastball, but it misses for a ball. Corson Hastings came into the game earlier, struck out. Looking to get going on the year, 2 for 20. Looks at another one outside. San Antonio native, Churchill Charger. Not quite as creative as a Battlin' Billy. Still fun nonetheless.
Fun does not make the all-time mascot list like the Battling Billy will, but still a fun mascot.
Patiently awaiting Sewell to hit the strike zone. Still has not in this at-bat. It's a 3-0 advantage for Hastings. Big swing, green light given. Fouls it the other way. So many different philosophies on swinging 3-0. Down 10, 8th inning, 2 outs, no one on. Guess it's as good a time as any to swing 3-0.
I think so. I get why people don't swing 3-0, but I've always thought there's a strong case to swing 3-0. If you're going to get a fastball right down the middle because the pitcher wants to throw a strike, and you think you know that, go get it.
It's a very fair argument. More and more guys have started swinging 3-0. Now it is 3-2, though, after a couple of foul balls from Hastings. And he sends this the other way. Gets down to stop it, and the throw miles away from the first baseman. So not what Jackson wanted there. Was a little rattled by the initial grounder. That's John Jackson, the freshman from Crandall, Texas, newly into the game. And it'll allow Hastings to reach first. Should be an error on the third baseman.
Hard hit ball, just going to get away from him once it hits his glove. So it squirt out. Not able to recover in time. Tried to, that's why the throw was offline. But at that point, Hastings was already basically on the base.
Speaking of Chargers, Cal Coney lives very, very close to where the Los Angeles Chargers play their home games. A Los Angeles native, Inglewood more specifically. And I know you, Cole, love the Chargers.
Do not love the Chargers, Brian. That is a typo. Do not love the Chargers.
I don't know.
I do love Justin Herbert, though, supporting the Oregon Ducks football. So he is definitely one of the best players to come out of that program. Got to go see a Chargers game just this year. They played the Chiefs, lost a close one. Good.
That must be what I got wrong. You love the Chiefs more.
Oh, yeah, there's even more of a typo, Brian.
I guess I can't really see the Broncos shirt you're wearing. Must have been my mistake. Sorry.
That's all right. You must have just missed it.
Coney so close to the Chargers, trying to electrify something here. Sends a foul ball the opposite way.
Brian, I love the Chiefs just about as much as you love the Yankees.
We'll leave that at that. That speaks for itself. We haven't even had Camden Champness in the game. So unfortunate with a name like that he hasn't played. Very biased. Just like I said, I'm biased in saying baseball is the best sport, saying that a name like Camden is top tier. As Reed Rosales taught me recently, S tier. Don't know why S tier means highest tier, but it does apparently in some communities, so we will listen to that.
I had never heard about that one, but you learn something new every day and every broadcast on Tiger Network.
You really, really do, and it's been an S tier at bat for Cal Coney so far. Taking it all the way full, fouling back some tough pitches, and now we'll have the runner going with 2 outs.
Yep, able to hang in there. First year's been very good when he's gotten in the game. RBI on his first at-bat against Hardin Simmons.
And he continues to just make it a longer night for Sewell, saying you waited this long to get in the game, might as well make it worth it. Throw some pitches. It's a pitching staff for UT Dallas that Coach Shoemake has been thrilled with. Really been the hitting that was his main concern, although, like we've talked about multiple times, not truly a concern so early, but 13 runs calms any real nerves about that. And the pitching has continued to be there. So if they can add Sewell now out of the bullpen, or if he gets back to his rotation days, just another flying comet for Coach Shoemake to turn to.
Yeah, it's been a very complete performance by everybody on UT Dallas so far. As any concerns about most facets of their game, I wouldn't want to say they're settled. It's only one game, but encouraging signs everywhere from the comments.
This will not be the last time the Comets and the Tigers see each other. April 18th, up in Richardson next time. Tigers will pay the Comets a visit to their home turf. Coney, another foul ball. So he is not going quietly in the bottom of the 8th. Tigers down 10. It got away from them pretty early. 4 runs in the 2nd for UTD, then 3 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. And ever since then, it's just been a slow march to the end. The Comets going to their bullpen arms to keep the Tigers shut down. And despite 9 hits by the Tigers, just 3 runs. A completely new lineup in there. Among those, Cal Coney, who takes strike 3 on the inside part. A heck of an at-bat for Coney that ends in a strikeout. He thought it was ball 4. May have been correct about that. But we head to the top of the 9th in San Antonio. Comets 13, Trinity 3.
Let's reset the lineup for the Comets. Second base, number 3, Will Dolan. And left, number 6, Severa. At first, number 25, Diego Longoria. At third, number 4, John Jackson. Designated hitter, 24, Grayson Polka. Right field, number 18, Luke Finn. Catching, number 5, Nico Fernandez. At short, number 2, Garrett Neely. And in center, number 10, Colin Etheridge. And pitching that last inning, number 39, Ben Sewell. Ben Sewell. Now the play for the Comets, number 25, Diego Longoria.
Top of the ninth in San Antonio. New hitter for the Comets, Diego Longoria. Junior from Houston, Texas. Has only played in 3 games across 2 seasons with the Comets and no hits in his career. So in every moment, there could be a moment. That's why you have to stay tuned, Cole.
Absolutely. A lot happening in this 10-run ball game. Don't want to miss a moment.
Be there, as Masson might say. Another hint as to who you were referring to earlier. Put the hints together. Camden, Masson. We'll let you do the solving at home. Longoria behind 1-2. And stays alive with a foul ball towards the Tiger dugout. So many new pieces for Coach Shoemake to work with. 26 transfers. But Longoria has been here for the long haul. And you know, they're putting this 13-run performance together without arguably one of their best performers on the offensive side. Keegan Vance, a senior from Houston, Texas, former Division I player at Lamar. He's getting the day off for the very first time. He was on the All-ASC second team. But getting a breather against the Tigers before that trip to Florida. And the Comets saying, you take your break. We'll pick it up.
Yep, long trip to Florida coming up for UTD. Good win for them to go into that feeling very good. There's a lot of tough opponents coming up in that trip. So you want to go in with all the confidence you can.
Longoria will gain some confidence. Won't be his first career hit, but it will be a walk to start this 9th inning. So now John Jackson will be the 3rd Comet of the evening to get his first career at bat. Saw him make the play over there at 3rd, although thought it might have been an error on him. The official scoring has been ruled a hit. So after that, he'll try to put some smiles on the faces of his fans with a hit in his first career at bat if he can get it. Takes the ball down low. He is a business administration major, although that's pretty rare on this roster. So many engineers. I guess they really caught on to the space theme. And looky here. First career hit for John Jackson. A single into center field. Congratulations to him.
Always good to get your first career hit. Pitch inside, able to fight it off, but put it into play. And there it is, first knock of his young career.
Comets have runners on first and second, nobody out. Looking to put some more cherries on top of this performance. Ball in the turf from Pfeiffer. Coulthard struck out in his first at-bat. Takes another ball low. Pfeiffer at this point just trying to salvage more of the Tiger bullpen, not forcing another arm to go. Because they do have that game tomorrow. It's a very quick turnaround. The DeSales Bulldogs in town. Pfeiffer can't land that breaking ball. Game tomorrow starting at 6 p.m. So we hope you are with us for that. We'll be here. .30 misses inside. Coulthard tosses the bat. And the Comets have the bases loaded with nobody out in the 9th.
Tomorrow will be very interesting. Always love to see how a team comes out after getting their teeth kicked in. And that is what is happening to Trinity here tonight. First time that's really happened all season. Babson was able to get an 11-4, a 10-4 lead on them at one point, but that game ended 11-6. Tigers fought their way back. Not really in this one, as not a lot has gone right for the maroon and white.
Someone else who was getting a breather along with Vance was Cade Turnage, the graduate student from Granbury, Texas. But Coach Shoemake saying, take an at-bat tonight. And only continuing the Harden-Simmons connection between these two teams. You might remember Harden-Simmons had several transfers from Tarleton State. Well, Cade Turnage is from that same program, Division I level, where he played 3 seasons, appeared in 35 games, had a couple of home runs. Now has become a big piece of this Comet offense, hitting .263 so far. And as he gets ahead in the count, he is not going to get another pitch from Pfeiffer. A frustrated pitching change made by Coach Smith. As the bases are loaded with nobody out, Comet's threatening for more. And we'll take a break on Tiger Network as we enjoy the full moon.
And welcome back to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. Full moon, some clouds going over it earlier, a spooky shot that would open most horror movies. And it has been a spooky night for the Tigers, as not a lot has gone well.
Hitting it right on point there, Cole. Not been a whole lot of light or brightness for the Tigers. And it's only fitting for these out-of-space Comets to see the moon fully in their favor tonight. And it's the second time we've seen an at-bat start, pitching change made, and at-bat continue. Not what you typically see. But the Tigers have had to do it a couple of times. And this time, it'll result in a 4-pitch walk to Turnage. 2 of them delivered by Pfeiffer, 2 of them delivered by Mackey. And another run comes around to score for UT Dallas.
An important update to everybody at home. After that run scores, Frank, we mentioned, not in the building for Trinity today. You can take what you want out of this, but when Frank is in the building, they have a plus 17 run differential, the Tigers do. And without Frank, it is -11 tonight. So you can take what you want out of that.
They do say numbers never lie, Cole. Matthew Mackey missing low here. Put into just an impossible situation here. Bases loaded, nobody out, already behind 2-0. So he walked his first hitter, and now we'll face the lefty Fernandez. Gets one over the plate. Fernandez serves it into left center, but charging over to make the catch is Peterson. Runner will tag from third and score the 15th run of the game, but Matthew Mackey gets the first out of the inning.
Yeah, able to get the first out big with the bases loaded. Not a lot he can do. Put in a tough position. That run will not be charged to him. as UT Dallas continues to do the little things well. A sac fly, giving them their 15th run of the night.
First pitch swinging for Neely, which has not been the case all evening. One of the most patient Comets that really turned the game early on, getting on base twice with a walk, scoring both times. And he's facing Matthew Mackey here, making his first appearance of the year, the junior from Houston, Texas. Able to get a swing and a miss there on that one, low and in. Lefty standing in at 6 foot tall. Not a whole lot of lefties on this Tiger pitching staff. So definitely someone they like to turn to when they need to turn the tables. Gets a strike 3 called on the corner. Matthew Mackey connects with his catcher McNaney after that. That's the second out of the inning.
Yep, slowly working out of this inning. It's been another long one for Trinity. Inheriting the bases loaded with nobody out in the middle of an at-bat where you're already down 2-0. Not the best position, but so far handling himself well.
And if it feels like Hardin Simmons just continues to kind of waver over Tiger Network this year, whether it's them playing Trinity in just about every sport and us mentioning them over and over, well, it's not going to stop because Colin Etheridge, the pinch hitter here, is from Hardin Simmons. Transferred over there from Abilene, now in Richardson. And not just any transfer who looks at a strike called here. He was an honorable mention in the conference a year ago, hitting 3 home runs, average of 301 with 20 RBI. So the Comets getting a really good one there from the Cowboys.
Sure, they're happy to have him on their side this time.
It is just such a neat concept to think about, the whole transfer idea. I've tried to put myself in the shoes of leaving a school and a team and just finding a completely new one. And I know how hard it would be for me as Mackey gets a wave at one low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. But it really doesn't seem easy. And so for these Comets to have a roster riddled with them and doing well shows a lot about the guys that they have on their roster.
And because you're not only transferring teams, you're transferring schools, and you have to adjust. It's just basically an entirely new environment altogether. And not to mention finding your way and where you fit in the team around you.
Mackey fitting in a 3rd strike, but like we saw earlier on the Comet side, it gets away from the catcher McNaney, so the bases will be loaded despite the strikeout here, the 2nd for Mackey.
Tough break. That's a really good pitch. Able to get strike 3, but ball gets away. And that has been the night in a nutshell for the Trinity Tigers.
Will Dolan will get the opportunity with the bases loaded. 2 outs in the 9th inning. And a strike called on him. Comets up 15-3. Once upon a time, the Tigers did lead in this game. 1-0. Just like a certain team led 3-0 before losing 30-3. Again, certain team. Once upon a time. But it was a positive start before the Comets just bombarded them with offense. Pitching, keeping the Tigers quiet and keeping these fans quiet during a midweek game. The 0-2 from Mackey looked to be there. Instead of 1-2.
Did not get the call. Thought that could have been strike 3. Think back to Calcone. Pitch inside. Call the strike late in games, especially of this nature. Umps like to expand the strikeout. Not there, I guess.
Making Mackey work for it. The hitter Dolan able to take it to 2 balls, 2 strikes, looking for his first hit as a Comet. Tries to check his swing, looks like he did. Late check to the second base umpire says he did. So a full count now. Runners will be off with the pitch. Coltharp at third, Turnage at second, Etheridge at first. Dolan at the plate. All four of those did not start this game. Dolan chops it to second. Coney makes the play, and that's the third out of the inning. Comets do score 2, but Mackey able to escape more trouble. And for him, real redemption. And you can see the smile on his face. The last time he faced UT Dallas, it was one he would rather forget. Giving up 14 runs in that 32-9 loss, just taking one for the team at that point. But now, does a great job, gets 2 strikeouts, and had to pitch a little longer because of the one that got away, and he's able to get that third out there.
Yeah, put in a really tough situation, handled himself really well for his season debut and against the team that he played in the game that he would like to forget. And able to redeem himself, as you said.
So it's time for the bottom of the ninth. UT Dallas 15, Trinity 3. One more pitcher coming up for UT Dallas, Jake Good. And we'll use this final break to talk a little bit about, not tomorrow, because we'll have tomorrow to talk about tomorrow. And we will still talk about what we're about to talk about tomorrow. But it's just worth talking about. The women's basketball team here at Trinity, Sweet 16 bound for the second consecutive year. They made the Elite 8 in 2022, and they're looking to take it a step or two further. Congratulations to Coach Cameron Hill and his Together Tigers. It's been so much fun to watch them this year. We are all very disappointed that they are being sent to Massachusetts for one of 3 sectionals happening in the same state, none of them happening in the Lone Star State. But we will be watching from afar and hoping for the absolute best for the Trinity Tigers.
What was that statistic? Once in the last 23 years, somebody hosts a sectional west of the Mississippi. Fortunately, I think the Tigers bitten by that. But either way, moving on in a great position to try and go win the whole thing. And we wish them all the luck in the world as they take on Tufts this weekend.
Trinity lost just 1 game all year. Absolutely wrecking their way through the rest of conference play, beating some great opponents, including Hardin Simmons 3 times, UT Dallas once in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And those last 2 American Southwest Conference foes allow them to be in the Sweet 16. So know everybody around here will be keeping an eye on that. Although here, keeping an eye on that grounder is the new pitcher. Excellent reflexes there by Good to retire Baker. First out of this 9th inning.
You hear the reaction from the dugout. I know this is a blowout and this game is long over, but that is an incredible play. The reflexes able to go up and get this.
You are so right, Cole. What an awesome play. And when you didn't believe us that you have to stay tuned for every second of every game, we have a prime example right here. Tyler Pettit, welcome back to action. The super senior from Round Rock, Texas, first team all-region last year according to D3 Baseball, first team all-conference, one of the major returning pieces of this Tiger lineup, making his first at-bat of the year. What a sight for sore eyes this is.
Absolutely. We were waiting for the return of Tyler Pettit. Was hoping to get back a little earlier from his broken hand. But taking a live at-bat in a game. Coach Scannell seeing the opportunity to get him in there. Try and get him comfortable. And he should, based on this, be ready to roll by the time Trinity hosts Austin College 2 weekends from now.
Yeah, pesky little hamate bone injury there, the inside part of the hand. That apparently happens really often with catchers. Happened to Nick Lazera before the season even started, then caught Pettit. But when you think Trinity in 2023, making any sort of predictions, you think Tyler Pettit hit .359 a season ago, 11 home runs. Had the highest average of any returning player, but he has not been able to play. But once he is back in the lineup, you can only expect the lineup to strengthen. Able to take the count full here, so clearly his eye has not gone anywhere.
One of the few veteran returning players from that World Series run. So many leaving. Brian Schaub, MJ Metz. And so many players that didn't have a lot of game experience getting in. But Tyler Pettit can provide some stability.
Provides a good line drive there, but it's caught by the right fielder. In perfect position there was Turnage. But you can hear the claps, even though it's an out. Just happy to see Tyler Pettit back out there. So even in a day that has been spooky, as you said, Cole, a dark sky only brightened by a full moon, there is hope for these Trinity Tigers.
Yep, Tyler Pettit's back. Nick Lazara done a great job hitting in his place, playing catcher, as they'll find different ways to get him involved, but the lineup only strengthened by Tyler Pettit.
And this is a Tiger lineup still getting used to losing 5 everyday starters. Nathan Brolick, Jack Vonderhaar, Jack Wisniewski, MJ Metz, and Brian Schaub. Not easy to replace guys who were on the team for up to 5 years. Now, several of those going to Division I programs and absolutely killing it. I mean, come on now. MJ Metz through 10 games with the Duke Blue Devils in the ACC, hitting .321 with a home run, 4 runs batted in. That's not easy to replace. And that's what the Tigers are having to do. They came into today 8-4 off a sweep, feeling good. This is definitely a wake-up call, but still so much season left to play with.
Absolutely, one game in a long season. Definitely would like to have this one, and definitely don't like the amount of stuff that's just gone wrong. And obviously the scoreboard, but overall, things looking good for Trinity. About to be 8-5, and an opportunity to get right back at it tomorrow.
Right back at it tomorrow, and as you hinted at a little bit, it'll be conference season sooner rather than later. A little bit of a break, about a week, but then the Kangaroos of Austin College come hopping into town to kick off SCAC play. So the 17-game homestand will continue as this one is officially over. Jake Good gets the swing and a miss for out number 3. And the UT Dallas Comets fly into town and put up a 15-3 victory. It was an offensive explosion early on. And let's talk about some of the major contributors. Look no further than Yeager's self, 3 for 4, 4 runs batted in. Robert Hines was 4 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. And from there, contributions just about across the board. Andrew Skivington, 2 hits with 3 runs batted in. Everything these Comets could have hoped for.
Yeah, they did all the little things well. The fascinating thing, you put up 15 runs, you expect a lot of slugging. Only 2 extra base hits on the night as they are able to dominate Trinity all night. Not a lot going right for the Tigers, but that's just one of those nights. And they'll have the opportunity to bounce back strong tomorrow, which I think any competitor, when you get beaten down like that, you look forward to getting right back up as soon as you can.
So darkness for the Tigers tonight, but as they head to the Sunshine State, the Comets feeling very bright about their trip back home. They'll be headed to Florida, playing a bunch of ranked opponents, so best of luck to the Comets. Tigers will see them later this year in Richardson, and you never know, maybe later on in the year, they'll see each other again. But for now, a 15-3 UT Dallas win over Trinity. It has been a pleasure to bring it all to you. For Cole Isaacson, I'm Brian Jenselson. Have a terrific Tuesday night.